Really obvious. Qualifying owners can lease a Nissan Rogue S for the equivalent of $99 weekly at 0% for 36 months, $430 monthly. Offer includes $1,100 Nissan bonus and 0.4%.
Box comes. Defenseman shoots. Blocker down. They score. On the rebound.
Your next great family adventure is just a raffle ticket away. Enter the Alberta Foster and Kinship Association's Family Adventure Raffle for your chance to win incredible prizes, including the first prize, a Sea-Doo pontoon cruise boat worth over $70,000. Every ticket sold helps provide vital resources to the everyday heroes raising children through some of life's hardest circumstances. Buy your tickets before the live draw on June 5th. Get yours at rafflebox.ca/raffle/the Great Family Adventure Raffle. License number 766115. Open to Alberta residents 18 plus only.
To the guy who said, I'll marinate the chicken, then...
Wembanyama inside. Welcome to this earth.
Into beef and pork. They even come... What's left is pretending you made it yourself. And they're on sale this week. For more great summer deals, check our flyer at safeway.ca. Variety may vary by store. See flyer for details.
That's the way.
The puck is passed up through the neutral zone, and here's a breakaway. He's coming in hot. He shoots it. Oh, no, a broken stick.
When it comes to performance, quality parts matter. Napa Auto Parts has all the reliable parts, tools, and more to keep your vehicle running like a playoff contender. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
The Jason Gregor Show.
Down the box comes Hutton. A defenseman. Hutton shoots. Blocker down. They score. On the rebound.
On Sports 1440.
Castle. Welcome to this earth.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Bouchard checking in. Celebrating. Warrington Bouchard. He's about to close his score. Mark Shipley. 2-0. The lead's at 6-5.
Well, a tremendous Thursday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440. Sports1440.ca. YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks as always for listening. Thanks for watching. It's Thursday, the Daily Grand, your chance to win $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. Where can you do it? PlayAlberta.ca. Title sponsor of the show. Always happy to have them on board. And you can get in. Good luck. And while you're there, you can also send me some notes at 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We got lots to discuss on the show today. We will talk a little, not WHL. Yes, I guess WHL, but more the Memorial Cup, as Steve Hamilton, head coach of Everett, who is representing the WHL, looking to get a win at the Memorial Cup. And they come in as I would think one of the favorites. They've been good all year long, dominant. And you think about it, the last time the Western Hockey League won the Memorial Cup, 2014. The Edmonton Oil Kings. Steve Hamilton, assistant coach in that staff. And now, 12 years later, he has Everett back at. Now, There were 2 years where it wasn't awarded in 2020 and 21. So I guess it's been 10 years of actual play time since the Oil Kings won Oshawa, London, Windsor, Acadie Bathurst, Rouen, Noranda, St. John Sea Dogs, Quebec Ramparts, and Saginaw, and then London, the winners. So Quebec Major Junior League has been, what have they won? 4 times since. The OHL has won 1, 2, 3, 5 times. So been a while. Hopefully they can end it. You got Kitchener, Everett, Chicoutimi, and the Kelowna Rockets. So there are 2 WHL teams. The Rockets obviously have been out since they lost to Everett in the second round. They'll be rested, I guess, but we've seen host teams sit out that long before and find a way to play well. So we'll see how that goes. Also on the show today, we will hear from Dave Owens, as always. I had a one-on-one with the quarterback, Cody Fajardo, today down at Elks camp. The Elks, of course, will have a walkthrough tomorrow. Then they'll fly out to Victoria for a preseason game on Saturday where lots of the starters are going to get some time. Obviously not going to play the whole game, but you're going to see a lot of the starters on both sides of the ball get some action in that game. Sam Cosantino will be by. Livingston, we got Landon Ferraro, Speck, Yaremchuk, Cam Tate. So a busy show today. Well, got a lot of texts already. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. So now one thing I do want to address this because I think it's important. At a time like I don't think it's fair or valid to just turn a blind eye to what's actually occurred. I would say this. There's no stronger stench of desperation than if the Oilers interviewed Mike Babcock. I'm not saying they're going to, but even interviewing would reek of desperation and would illustrate an organization that is just overlooking everything. But he won. He won a cup in 2008. Like suddenly that erases everything else. Oh, you know what? You can be a jerk. You can be a power-hungry dork repeatedly. And, that's okay because you won a Stanley Cup one time. So just to refresh your memory, let's go back. Now, if you are a believer, Gregor, he should have a second chance. Yeah, he had a second chance. That's when he got hired by Columbus on July 1st of 2023. And then he resigned in September. He didn't even get to training camp. Why? Because you remember the story that broke that summer on Spit and Chicklets, Biz Nasty, Paul Bissonnette, broke the story that the coach was asking players during one-on-one meetings to see photos on their phones and then would stream them on his TV. Now, what are you doing there? Now, he tried to say, it was a way to get to know his players better. Really? So imagine plugging your phone in to a computer and now it just randomly scrolls through the pictures. First of all, why are you putting up on there? It's a complete position of power to make players feel comfortable, to make them feel like they're subordinate. That's what it is. Because think about your phone. You can have lots of great pictures, but you might have a few private ones in there. It's your phone. Like to even have the audacity to ask someone about it and then put it up on a big screen, like, give me a break. Now, remember, and maybe you don't, because clearly some people in this market don't remember. So what happened was he resigned. Later that afternoon, Marty Walsh, the executive director of the NHLPA, put out a release that said, quote, "Our players deserve to be treated with respect in the workplace. Unfortunately, that was not the case in Columbus. This club's decision to move forward with the new head coach is the appropriate course of action." Okay, so this was his second chance. But now let's go back. Because some people clearly have forgotten the history of Mike Babcock. And these are things on record, not just stories. These are on record. So now no one's been more vocal than Mike Commodore. Now, here's what happens, unfortunately. When you want to be vocal and you stand up, you'll find, he's just God. He didn't like him. Really? He went into detail. And I've talked to Mike many times on the show about it. But I went back and I found an interview that he had done back in 2019. And he was talking about, and this was, he goes, I'll read the whole quote. So he comes into Anaheim, rookie situation, right? He goes, man, I don't know who Babcock is. I've never heard of him. I'd never had a run with him. Nothing. There's no previous history. I show up to camp. I fight everybody in camp. I'm supposed to play when the season starts. I'm penciled in, but he's someone else who wants to play. It happens. So he sends me down to the minors, but then he carves me in the paper saying I showed up out of shape. I swear to God, I never showed up out of shape because I wasn't talented enough to do it. I would have been in the East Coast League and done it and been done in 2 years. I was never able to get rid of that reputation. Basically, the guy doesn't want to work out, went to the paper and said it. I'm reading it and I'm like, are you bleeping kidding me? Now, Commodore didn't play a game that season for the Ducks, but he did get called up in midseason. And this is what Babcock did to him. So they called me up and they did a fat test on me. I'm not even playing in the game. They did a fat test. You know, the one where you pinch. For anybody that's done it, it's very subjective. Somebody that has to put you in front of a magazine that's ripped out of their mind, you can make them like 5% body fat if you want. You just grab the 3 points where there's a little bit of extra skin. I've always been around 10 to 11% body fat, been tested many times. So they do it. It says I'm 22%. He's like, hey, I got to tell the coach. So Babcock waits, and then he gives me the results in front of the team. I don't even know any of the guys. So I told him to go bleep himself. So let's go get a real test. I'm not 22%. Screw you. And that's when I was done in Anaheim. Now, then he fast forward to the time in Detroit where, he didn't like what happened in Detroit, and he even reached out to Ken Holland first. Hey, I know Babcock's talked about me. I don't think he likes me. He went to Detroit, and what did he do? He didn't play him. Healthy scratch him most of the season, played 17 games. Why? Because Babcock has a history of liking to show everybody that he's in power. I'm a big, strong man. Remember what he did to Mike Modano, Hall of Fame player, 2011. Mike Modano gets injured. He comes back from injury on March 8th. He counts down the games played. If he finishes every game in the regular season, guess what happens? He plays 1,500 career games. Pretty big milestone, right? You've been in the league a long time. You've done a lot. So what does Babcock do? He healthy scratches him in the second last game of the season. So here's the story that Modano told. I'm counting down the days. If I get all the games in from now, I'll be down to it. So now we're whittling down. We're late in the season. There's a few games left. I play game number 1,498. But then the next game against Minnesota at home, I'm healthy scratched. Then he plays me in Chicago for the season ender to get to 1,499. He said, quote, Mike, we didn't bring you here to get to 1,500 games. We brought you here to win a cup. Really? Now think about that. Do you think benching Mike Modano, when you know he can get to 1,500 games, and you claim it's because you want to win a cup? How? Can't win a cup in the regular season. You can't win the cup in the second final regular season game of the year. It's another case of a coach who's power hungry and a douchebag. What about the Johan Franzen story? Do you remember that one? Chris Chelios, who's seen a lot. It was Chris Chelios who told this story, not even Franzen himself. Here's the story that Chris Chelios told, again, on the Chicklets podcast. Franzen was hurt at the time of the playoffs we lost to Nashville. And some of the things Babcock said to him on the bench, I don't know what he said behind him closed doors, but he was blatantly verbally assaulting him during the game. It got to the point for Johan, no one really knew he was suffering with the concussion or depression at the time. He just broke down and had a nervous breakdown, not only on the bench, but after the game in the room in Nashville. That was probably the worst thing I've ever seen. Johan Franzen was asked a little bit later about that in an interview back home in Sweden. And he said, quote, Babcock is a terrible person, the worst person I've ever met. So you have teammates admitting this guy was verbally abusing a player on the bench, not even hiding it. Because that's where a lot of bullies like to do it, where there's no one else around. Ha ha, I can get you. Right? And then there's the Mitch Marner story. Goes into Toronto as a rookie. And he sits Marner down and goes, I want you to list who you think is the hardest worker on the team and then go down to who is the least hard worker. So think about that. You're a rookie in the NHL. Your coach has to do this. Well, he does it. He lists the name. So what does Babcock do? Babcock goes and tells the players, his teammates, where Marner had ranked them. But you know what? Nazem Kadri, Tyler Bozek, they spoke up. They confronted Babcock and said, it's not how you treat it. So then Babcock apologized to Marner. But he only did it after some veteran teammates told him. So Babcock, when he gets fired, has an interview with Elliot Friedman. And he says, quote, I was trying to focus on work ethic with Mitch. focusing on role models. It ended up not being a good idea. I apologized at the time. Not being a good idea? Do you name anyone in any coaching job? Hey, I want you to list from best to worst your teammates. What? And he just says, well, ended up not being a good idea because he got caught and he got called out by veterans. And this is the person that some people think, oh, the Oilers should look at because he won a Stanley Cup. It's an embarrassing recommendation to even mention it. I'm sorry. All you're doing is empowering a guy who has a track record. And these are just the stories we know about. Some other guys are probably like, nah, I'm not even going to tell my story. Happened in Toronto, happened in Detroit, happened in Anaheim, right? Multiple different players. And every time there's a theme. What does he try to do? He wants to embarrass the player. He wants to try to show who's got all the power. And he doesn't care. You're a future Hall of Famer? You're not going to get 1,500 games of my watch because I can show the team that, hey, I'm bigger than you. You think that's what the Edmonton Oilers need? Give me a break. Oh, and by the way, if you're naive enough to have forgotten all of those deplorable actions, then we can just go for actual on-ice results. The fact that he hasn't won a playoff series since 2014. But you know what? He won in 2008 one time. So, God, let's overlook everything else since then. Actually, he hasn't won a playoff series since 2013. My apologies. 13. Why do you think that is? Do you think maybe because he's just a horrible human being as a coach? Think that's possible? These aren't allegations. These are true stories. He never denied it. Told from players or even teammates. And there's some people, well, geez, maybe they should consider Mike Babcock. Give me a break. You know what that is? That is enabling a guy who has a track record and a history of being a verbally abusive, mentally abusive, horrible human being. Full stop. So don't even mention it again. And to even I couldn't believe how many, oh, well, geez, I would look at it. Would you? Because what, you're going to forget everything. Yeah, but he won a cup in 2008. Well, that just makes everything better, doesn't it? It's a classic case of, you know what? You see someone murder someone. Yeah, but he was a pretty good guy. Yeah, he murdered someone. But other than that, yeah, he was a pretty good guy. Oh, yeah, Mike Babcock. Oh, won a Stanley Cup once. Yeah, abused his players multiple times. Tried to embarrass him. But oh, yeah, he's a good guy. On an organization that right now needs to win, and that's who you're going to bring in, sorry, it is disappointing and even embarrassing to even I think it's completely disrespectful is how I would look at it. So I hope his name is not even brought up. And if you find out that the Oilers even interview him, even if they interview him, it just illustrates to me desperation, no plan. I hope for everything that they don't. And it was just people throwing names out there without ever taking a second to think if it's a good idea. Because it wasn't. Take a quick break. When we return, Steve Hamilton joins us. This is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Are new Mick Cafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3, saving you more money with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, Restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Hear that? That's your entry calling. Go Auto is sending you to the biggest football event in the world, live in Vancouver, with tickets, flights, and a hotel stay for two. To enter the contest, just text GAME to 780-777-7777. That's GAME to 780 all sevens. Go Auto, get in the game.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Mr. Rooter gets attacked by a Canada goose.
Oh, look at that. Another on-time arrival. Nothing stops Mr. Rooter from plumbing on schedule. You gotta be kidding me. Hello, Mr. Goose. I'm Mr. Rooter. Okay, this is what you train for. Through rain, sleet, or goose, the pipes get fixed.
For a plumber who does whatever it takes, Mr. Rooter.
For many families, the stress of divorce can throw your life out of balance. The loss of a relationship, ongoing conflict, mounting legal bills, and uncertainty about the future can feel overwhelming. Hi, I'm Corey Anderson with Fairway Divorce Solutions. At Fairway, our team helps you restore balance through mediation, negotiation, and a unique step-by-step process. With 2 offices in Edmonton dedicated to serving your needs, our goal is simple: to help you navigate a path back to peace and clarity. Visit us today at Fairway Divorce.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact, because our team is built on second chances, and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think, "Wow, great hair transplant." I want them to think,
Wow, great hair.
Go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned. Over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
2:22. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Thursday afternoon. The Vegas Golden Knights get a win last night. We said it. Without Cale Makar, that was a game you had to win. And they got outshot, but they won. And we'll see. Does Makar play tomorrow night? How hurt is the shoulder? We'll see. Also starting tomorrow night, the 2026 Memorial Cup. As we go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical, where you can take action on your savings, especially if you're looking to get commercial solar on your building. You can qualify for up to 30% of federal tax credit, accelerated capital cost allowance benefits, and more. Learn all about it at actionelectrical.net. And we are joined by the head coach of the champion of the Western Hockey League, the Everett Silvertips. Steve Hamilton joins us. Steve, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Well, Steve, maybe you're the magic touch. The last guy, you were on the coaching staff of the Oil Kings when they won in 2014. That's the last time a WHL team has managed to hoist the Memorial Cup. Let's take it through the season. When did you think that your Everett team was, it's hard to think, we're going to guaranteed win, but when did you feel that you had a legit competitive team to go for the championship this year?
Yeah, I think we felt pretty good early on, just with the amount of returning players, and we had a lot of guys that made a very conscious choice to come back to Everett this year. And we had a good team last year and lots to build on coming back. So I felt like we're certainly going to be in the mix. And then as the identity and personality of your team kind of takes shape over the course of the year, you realize that these guys it's been a pretty special group. And, the year together has been filled with lots of really good moments. And when we've had missteps, I give a lot of credit to our players. They don't take losing well and have always responded well. So, I felt like as the year started to unfold, you could see that this group was, pretty special.
And, obviously you need a little bit of luck when it comes to injuries and, knock on wood, you've been pretty healthy team so far. You guys played right up until last week. You get a few days off and now you're back at it. And do you feel, is it an advantage having a short little travel to Kelowna? Some people think it's a big one. I'm not sure history tells us it is or it isn't, but you've been through the Memorial Cup before. What do you make of the short travel up to Kelowna?
Yeah, I mean, we talked with the group after, when we brought them in on Monday and just talked about some of those things, the advantages of being in the West and what it means. And, the travel was pretty easy. You have a familiar rink. You have staying at a hotel we've stayed at all the time when we come to Kelowna, and just how many positive advantages there are to having it in the West. Our schedule laid out really well. We don't play any back-to-back games in the round robin, and all of those things, they matter. And, this is my third Memorial Cup, and it's the first time being in the West. And I can recall going out to, Quebec the first year in 2012, and our turnaround was extremely short, and we were playing the very first game on the Friday, I think having one Game 7 on a Tuesday kind of thing. So that was real short turnaround, plus travel, plus time zones. And, there's a lot that goes into it, and you need to be in a good space. You need to be healthy and playing good hockey. And we were pretty efficient going through the playoffs, which I'm very thankful for. The difference between playing 18 games to 4 rounds and playing 25 or 26 it's a lot of wear and tear.
No, for sure. It's much better. And you got a lot of guys feeling pretty good about themselves. Mietinen's got 14 goals in 18 games. Vananen has 24 points in 18 games. You got Landon DuPont, the youngster's not even draft eligible yet, 23 points. Carter Bear, 22 points. Like you don't have to rely on one guy, but you got a lot of top end offensive guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of been our calling card all year. We always trust our offense. I think probably the best part of our game is we are smothery. We are hard to play against. Quick team, put a lot of pressure on the other team, and our offense usually generates from other teams' mistakes. And we can want to set a pace which is really high and hard to follow and hard to keep up with. And usually by the third period, we get our best separation in the game usually comes in the third when we've really been at it for 40 plus minutes. So yeah, I mean, it's a team that just, I'll be honest with you, it does remind me so much of the 2014 team, the personalities, some of the leaders and character guys on our team that just play their roles exceptionally well. And so there's a lot of similar traits, and obviously lots of hockey to be played, but it is a team above all. And I think that's probably our greatest strength is that we rely on everybody to get it done.
Head coach of the Everett Silvertips, Steve Hamilton, joins us. And Steve, you mentioned it's your third trip there, so you have a lot of experience. Obviously, there's not a ton of it for your kids. The biggest challenge is you go through 4 rounds of the playoffs, and now you're into kind of a single elimination, right? Like, it's very different. You kind of, not that, it's almost not that every game's a game 7 in the round robin, but it is totally different. What's the challenge as a coach having gone through it before, and how do you change the preparation or the mindset of your players where it is going back to playing a different team here every game compared to playing the same team for a full series?
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things is after having gone through a playoff run, you win a championship, and you've built this wave, this momentum, this purposeful approach to something, and then you're able to capture it. And then the biggest thing is your wave is going to hit land, and it crashes to some degree. And we've spoken openly about that. The first couple practices after we got back, and the guys celebrated a little bit, and when we come back, you could feel like you're just fatigued a bit.
Yeah.
But rather than saying it's not a thing, it's very much a thing. And what we want to do is now let's recreate that energy and recreate that purpose. And we have lots of time between games. We don't play till Saturday, so very fortunate that way. We'll have well over a week between games. So it is very much a sprint mentality. You get in the blocks, and it's everything you got for one game. And as opposed to, the long 7-game series where you're trying to wear each other down and pick apart each other's tendencies, and you don't have a very thick playbook on Chicoutimi and Kitchener when you've never seen them. So you do as much prep as you can, and but then you got to play, and that's how important the round robin games become, is to be sprinting and going for it, and then you're going to learn something going forward if you're fortunate enough.
Well, that was my next one. You come through where you've been really digging in on one team, and you know what their tendencies are. Is it much more of a shorter bulletin of points to these teams when you come in, because you don't have enough time because you're playing one team on Friday, then you're playing another team on Sunday. So I don't know how much, how does it change from a coaching perspective? Like, you just focus on 2 or 3 points to look at a team in your pre-scout?
Yeah, I mean, the way I describe it, like when talking with Tim and Mike, our assistant coaches, is like, let's paint a picture for these guys. Let's paint a picture of, what our best expectations of some of their tendencies are. And then we need to then let it go and trust our guys. The last thing you want to do is be hesitant or have the guys overthinking. That's, the qualities of good teams is that you focus really a great deal on yourself, and it's important to have some understanding and knowledge. Who's the key guys? For the most part, what are their general tendencies system wise? But after that, you've got to kind of release the hounds a little bit and let them play. And I think that's a super important part of it, because if you get into the minutia of the details, that's a recipe for guys to be overthinking and hesitant. And then, that snowballs into playing on your heels as opposed to playing on your toes. So like I said, the round robin tells you a lot. It gives you the feel that of what's going on in real time, and then you can make your adjustments. It's just super important to be sharp and have a very attacking mindset going into this thing.
Steve, you've coached a lot of players. Landon Dupont might be the most talented player you've coached at the WHL level. Like he's a very special player. I think that's probably fair to say. How have you approached that as a coach? How different is it when you have someone that skilled?
Yeah, I mean, what everyone can see is his on-ice ability. And, what I'm super thankful for is who that young man is off the ice and who he is to his teammates and the kind of, silver tip that he is. And because that in itself is so important. He's the most humble, hardworking guy, and just his game is exceptional. And his attributes on the ice are indeed incredibly special. And he does everything at full pace and executes and wants to be the guy. And I can, I appreciate him day in and day out. I catch myself sometimes, even in practice, he'll do small things that you just don't see. And you kind of chuckle to yourself, and the boys love him because some of the things he does, they get a chuckle out of, and everybody's, they treat him, they know how good he is, and it's not lost on anybody, but they treat him like one of the guys. And that's been a special relationship for sure.
And so, as a coach, you're always looking to want to help players get better, right? For lots of different things. So when you have an elite talented player like that, what's been the focus? Because, there are some guys who, hey, this guy's got to read the play. And some of these guys are like, oh my God, like this guy knows a lot. So what were the areas you focused on wanting to help him improve?
Just little things like, honestly, I'll give you a small example, when he broke into the league last year, he's 15 years old, and obviously coming off of a U18 year as a 14-year-old, jumped into the league with us, and it was pretty clear right away he's going to be a player. So, but little things like, we'd go D to D in transition, and his first read was always the middle of the ice, and because he could pull that off, where subtle things like that, just, we asked our whole defensive group this year, we wanted to really squeeze the play with our D and our back pressure and having those go hand in hand. And like, he's taken it to a whole nother level in terms of killing plays before they ever get dangerous, because he understands what you're trying to say. He understands what it means to do it the proper way, and then he's all over it. And that's the kind of thing that when you get a player like that, he doesn't need to hear it 10 or 12 times. Like, he feels it, he sees it, he does it, and consequently that kind of sets a tone for everybody else too, because his aggressiveness and his willingness to try things and implement areas in his game and make them better, that it rubs off on everyone else.
Yeah. Well, so definitely it can make you a better coach, and at times probably a little bit easier because, he sets the standard, and, it is unique because he's so young, right? Like and I think the one thing about most athletes, most of them, and especially the confident ones, they're like, you know what? They know who's the better players on the team. And at any level, even from a young age, they know who the better players are. And most of them are okay with that. And they're like, hey, I know he's better than me. I just want the thrill of saying I played with him and help him and have him fit in. And how have your veterans, because 15 years old, Steve, there's not many guys who play in the dub at 15, right? How important was that? Like, who are the leaders that really helped make that transition, not so much on the ice, but off of the ice, easier for you?
Yeah. Well, two things. He lives with Carter Bear and Jesse Hesslop, who have been longtime Silvertips, and obviously really good players in their own right. And we wanted to make sure that he was, well, number one, he needed a ride to the rink because he wasn't old enough to drive. So we had to take care of that. But we also wanted to put him in an environment where he was never going to be on his own, and, just having the teammates with him and feeling more like in a family environment. But secondly, it was funny. Everyone used to ask me, where do you think Landon will fit into your lineup? When obviously I took the job, and I said, well, Landon will tell us where Landon belongs in the lineup. And I think it was literally the first day he jumped out on the ice in training camp, and some of the older guys kind of gave that side eye look like, I haven't seen that before. So, and right away, the acceptance level was like, yeah, I mean, this kid's going to play on PP1 at 15 and be our quarterback. Like, it was unspoken and unnecessary to even address it, because it was so obvious to everyone that what he's bringing, and the humility that he brings it with, you know, there's no question where he fit. And our guys, they did a lot of work last year to make sure that he had the support he needed around him, you know, in terms of off the ice, going to places where there's, you know, 50 people waiting for an autograph, and he's got to get through to, you know, little things like that. Our guys will always step up and make sure that he was taken care of. And they do that because they love him as a teammate.
I'm looking up and down your roster, and you have lots of guys with multiple goals pretty much right through your lineup. There's not many guys who don't feel like they've contributed, Steve. When you have a team this good, and you've been part of that before, it's hard at times in the playoffs. You know, young guys are playing more in the regular season, then you make an addition to the trade deadline. How have you been able to make all the guys feel like they're contributing, even though their minutes aren't maybe where they want to be?
Yeah, I mean, that's a special thing when you have a team like we've had this year. Guys understand, and role acceptance is, sometimes you're selling as a coach, you're selling role acceptance and hoping that the guys are buying. And this year, it's never been a thing. We talk to the guys all the time. If you're in or out of the lineup, we talk to you and let you know. Sometimes it's roster management. Sometimes it's just getting another guy in, or, you know, sometimes it's just a break, you know, in a long season. And our guys our scratches, the guys that haven't played, they go out every day and skate and never a peep, right? And the guys that are on our third and fourth line, they've had some huge moments for us as a team. And it's all just part of it. Like, it's team above all. And we talk about that so much, and whatever gets the job done, guys are buying into. And I mean, you're so appreciative of a coach to have that kind of leadership. Because we do have some of our captains that play on our third line and don't necessarily get a ton of extra minutes, but they're also the guys that are cheering the loudest when other guys are having success, and, you know, supporting each other like that. It does really have a positive impact.
Well, Steve, lastly, so you get into the Memorial Cup, starts right away. Kind of give me this strategy and approach for the Everett Silvertips, and what needs to happen for you guys to be successful.
Yeah, I mean, that first game is really important. You want to get off to a good start. You know, just with the format, you get 3 games, and you got to find a way to get at least one win. And, you know, we talk about that 2014 team. What people don't realize is we only had 1 win in the round robin. And we got ourselves into a semifinal game against a team that we lost to in double overtime, and then had to beat them in triple overtime in the semifinal to get to so you just got to keep moving forward. And, you know, we want to be really sharp and fresh going into game 1, and then we'll have a better chance to kind of assess the landscape. But literally day by day, and I know that sounds incredibly cliche, but at this time of the year, that is how we're approaching everything. It's day by day, and we're really dialed in on Chicoutimi for game 1, and then we'll turn our sights to Kitchener after.
Well, Steve, we'll be watching, man, and best of luck. It's great to catch up with you, and hope you bring the Memorial Cup back to the Western Hockey League. Appreciate your time as always.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
There you go. That's Steve Hamilton, head coach of the Everett Silvertips, and man, they're good. They're a really good team. I think they go in. You know, we'll have Sam Cosantino on and others who follow the other leagues much closer than I do. But, you know, I've talked to a few people. Luckily, you know what? Got to see Quebec and the Ontario League. I love playoffs, man. So I love watching those games. They've been on the big screen. Everett looks really good. Now, Kitchener's obviously good. No question. But, now it's a 1-gamer. And that's what makes the Memorial Cup challenging. Like, you've gone through your 4 rounds. You had your big celebration. Now you got to ramp back up again. And it's even for all the teams except Kelowna. They haven't won anything. So, you know, they're hungry for a different reason to want to win. And that's what makes it a cool tournament. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We'll come back. We return. Oh, we got a rainbow of flavors coming up next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Everything is going to be okay. If your debt has you feeling like you're in a free fall, you have options. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. Becoming debt-free is possible, and a personal bankruptcy or consumer proposal will get you there. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. You'll learn how a consumer proposal allows you to eliminate your debt by paying a percentage of the amount owed without interest. At Faber, we'll tackle your debt.
This is you.
Hi.
And your cornhole team needs money.
Yeah, we do need money.
Plus, you've tried every fundraiser under the sun.
No kidding, and no one's buying my Cuban salted chocolate.
Scrap the chocolate and fundraise for your team, club, or charity at On the Rocks. Here's the deal. We'll create custom tickets for your event, which includes no cover, no line, and beverage before 10 p.m. Then you sell your tickets and keep all the profits.
That sounds easy.
It is. Fundraisers at On the Rocks. Book, party, cash. OnTheRocksYEG.com.
May brings more of what you're looking for at Wolf GMC Buick. The selection, never better. The savings up to $12,000 when you combine cash discounts on your new 2026 Sierra 1500 pickup. Up to $1,750 in cash rebates on remaining 2025 Terrain SUVs. Plus 0% financing up to 72 months on most models. And ask about the truck trade-in bonus of up to $1,500 on select new in-stock Sierra 1500s.
Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
It's the final weekend of the Brick's famous tent sale. Take up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and in store. And unadvertised in-store specials in every department. Plus, buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off select major appliances. And score a bonus Bluetooth party speaker with a qualifying purchase. You could get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and a dining set. All of this for less than $1,500. Only at the Brick's tent sale. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new Mick Cafe refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
There's still time to book your tournament at the Ranch Golf and Country Club.
As one of Alberta's top tourney courses, the Ranch makes hosting fun and easy for any group or business. No matter how unique or unusual, they'll accommodate your vision for an event no one will soon forget.
Start planning your tournament today at their beautifully landscaped course on the outskirts of West Edmonton. On-site event coordinators are here to help, but hurry, availability is limited and booking fast.
Visit theranchgolf.com.
New at Papa John's, the spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Say it with me now. Spinach Alfredo sauce, grilled chicken, fresh Roma tomatoes, all on our fresh, never frozen pizza dough. 4 favorites, 1 pizza. So let's run it back. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Right now, a large for just $18.99. Delivery or carry out. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Millions and millions of Canadians do not have a doctor. We have a crisis. Canada's Medical Clinic is opening clinics across Canada to allow everyone to have a doctor to call their own. Early detection saves lives. We've got some great news. You can call now and book an appointment with your new doctor. Canada'sMedicalClinic.com. And more good news. Canada's Medical Clinic Windermere is also now a walk-in clinic. We'll see you there.
Only Crave has your favorite summer obsession. Love Island, USA. The reality sensation is back.
Hello, Islanders.
And so is irresistible host Ariana Maddox.
Here's to a great summer of love.
Sexy singles, jaw-dropping drama. Who's ready to play? Love Island, USA. The new season streams June 2nd. Only on Crave. Subscribe now at crave.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Emerald Equipment. Emerald Equipment is Edmonton's newest dealer for Yanmar compact equipment. Machines built tough for jobs that don't quit. Get your new Yanmar compact track loaders with ASV Posi Track at Emerald Equipment.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
.247. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Hanley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. I hope you are having a lovely Thursday. We got the Eastern Conference final starting tonight between Carolina and Montreal. If you're a believer in the Canadian hope, the Montreal Canadiens are that team. They come in as the underdog, of course, against the red-hot Carolina Hurricanes, and see what happens. Hurricanes yet to lose a game. Montreal yet to lose a game 7. They, of course, won both their series in game 7s, and we'll see what they do in this series. Should be fun. Road team won last night. Vegas picked up the 4-2 victory over Colorado. And it's time now for another rip-roaring edition of Thirsty Thursday, brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, 2 locations, 50th Street and 92nd Avenue? Yeah. 92nd Avenue on the south side. And, of course, the OG, the original location, St. Albert Trail and 118th Avenue. If you're like, you know what, I don't really like beer anymore, that's no problem. They have the best selection of non-alcoholic beverages, wine, cocktails, beer. And trust me, I've had lots of them, actually. And they're pretty damn good if you feel like, I just like the taste, but I don't want the alcohol. They can get that at Sherbrooke Liquor. Is our main man, fresh new head haircut in here. Jeez, big
Thanks,
Steve
buddy.
joins us. Steve Bezan joins us. Steve, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing really good, Jason. How are you doing?
Good. Well, hey, I guess the birthday boy might have partied too much last night.
Yeah,
Dave couldn't come in today.
yeah, it's David's birthday yesterday, so he asked me to fill in today.
Getting a little too old. Hey, trying to run with the Wolves.
He was right. He planned ahead though. He asked
Yeah,
me on Wednesday to do it, so I think he knew what was happening yesterday.
Well,
So
there you
yeah,
go. That's good. Well, that is good. So
Yeah.
today, what do we got? A mixed bag here.
we do. We got some bangers for you today. So
Oh,
this
okay.
is, I mean, like I've been on the show a few times now, and
Yeah.
we talk beer quite a bit. Usually, I bring up a lineup from a bunch of different breweries or a bunch of different styles, but today
Yeah.
we're kind of narrowing our focus a little bit. We're gonna do one brewery and all sort of the same style, even though they look very different in your glass. So today we are focusing on Great Notion Brewing, which is, it's super exciting to have these guys back in the province. We used to carry Great Notion, so they're out of Portland, Oregon. We used to have them about 5 or 6 years ago now, or maybe even a little longer than that. And they sent really limited shipments to Alberta for a brief period. They've been out of the market until last week. We just got some beers back from them, and I'm really excited for them because Great Notion, it's kind of, if you walk into the store now, or if you walk into any sort of craft beer focused establishment, you'll see a lot of these crazy sour beers using a bunch of different ingredients, different fruits, even like sort of pastry sours, these kind of wild off the wall concoctions. If you like those, you have Great Notion to thank. They were really the pioneers behind that whole, the kettle sour beer movement, these flavored, you'll see as we go through the lineup, we start with a blueberry muffin beer, and we start with like a smoothie, strawberry, blueberry, lemon, marshmallow sour. So these guys were kind of at the forefront of that style, and they want to make beer fun is their main, that's their tagline. That's what they want to do. So even if you aren't necessarily a beer fan, from what you've tasted in the past, I think if you jump into a Great Notion lineup, it's going to just blow your mind, and you could see all the fun different flavors that beer can have.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay,
so let's start off. So blueberry muffin is we'll go for that on the other side there. That's going to be our last one.
Oh, that's going to be our last one?
Yeah,
Okay.
so we're going to start there with blueberry muffin.
It's a tart tail.
Yeah, so all these are
Look at the cans.
Yeah.
Everybody who's watching online, look at that big bear on there.
They do great artwork too. It's an artist out of Portland he's worked with different skateboard companies and different things. So he does all the artwork, all the different characters on the cans.
It smells very fresh.
Yeah. So this was sort of the beer that started it all for them back in 2016. So the blueberry muffin tart ale. It's a sour ale base.
Oh my god!
They add blueberries.
I didn't expect
natural.
That to be that.
Yeah, man. And when you smell it, like you could just smell that baked sort of pastry muffin, even blueberry pancakes sort of aroma to it, and it's just.
It is sour. Oh my god! My eyes
are
watering.
And that's hard. Yeah, on the nose, like it comes across as seems like it'd be very sweet, but yeah, you get that nice bright acidity to it.
Like the smell definitely, like the taste isn't bad. It's just it's bitter. That's it.
Yeah, it's got that punch to it.
But it's a flavor bitter, which sounds kind of weird.
It's like and that's the thing with it's unlike anything you've ever tasted, I think, in the beer world. Like each one is, even if it's not your favorite, it's a discussion piece. Like it is wild.
Like look at this can, the Great Notion key lime pie. It's like a pink flamingo with shades. It's got a shirt on, and then he's carrying a key lime pie.
Yeah,
so just for the can, I'm kind of like, I'm intrigued.
Man, it's fun. And this one, more of a Goza style. So a Goza is traditionally a German style. They add a little bit of sea salt to the beer, which adds a quality to it. This one, I mean, the traditional Gozas you get from Germany are pretty straightforward. It's just a clean malt base and some sea salt, maybe some coriander, different spices to it. But this one, they add, key lime pie, lactose, a little vanilla to it, just trying to replicate that pie flavor. And again, a lot of breweries try to make beer that can pair with food, but these guys are like, we want to make beer that like actually tastes like food.
Yeah. So, well, no, it's it says it's tart, but now compared to the blueberry muffin, it's not tart at all.
Yeah, the blueberry muffin had that really sharp like acidity to it. This one's a lot more smooth. You get more on the back end. I think you get that really
it's a delayed flavor
acidity. More that natural fruit sort of quality to it.
It's very different. Like I think to try these, like you got to be curious and open to wanting to try some different flavors for sure. It's definitely, if you're just a traditional, hey, I like beer because I like the taste of it, it's probably not for you.
Yeah, exactly. And we've done ready to drinks and canned cocktails and different things on the show. This is almost this blurs the line between beer and those.
Yeah.
So moving on. So they do something called the Shake series. So this
double papaya shake.
Yeah. So this is going to be, they're going more for like a milkshake kind of vibe to it. So it's got papaya, passion fruit, natural flavors. This one's the strongest out of the bunch. It's 9.1%. And you can just that, it's like candy on the nose. It's just like,
like the flavors of these, like the smell, you want to stick your nose in in your glass. People are going to, can I smell it? Sure. And then, it's going to smell good. Then it's going to taste a little different.
Yeah, it's wild. And these, when you look at all those beer review websites and everything, these guys are widely considered to be some of the best, make some of the best beer in the world, and are considered, at least in the sort of North American craft scene, they are, it's what a lot of breweries are trying to replicate when they do these sort of styles, because again, these guys were the first out of the gate to start doing it.
Again, it's definitely an acquired taste, and I could see if you're the best way to try this is maybe a few buddies. You split a can to see if you're going to like it. Right? Hey, you have a third, I'll have a third. We have a third of it because it's very flavorful. It's so different than what beer.
It's so different, and it's like with how flavorful it is and how intense it is. It is like it's hard to go through a full can. Like it's good. It's good to share it with people, and it's interesting too because, like I said, we used to have this brewery way back, over 5 years ago. And now at the store, we have a lot of new staff working for us, a lot of younger people, mid-20s, early 20s that are just kind of getting into craft beer and aren't really sure where their tastes lie and everything. And just seeing everyone, seeing those kids just try these and get so excited about all the different flavors. It was just, it reminded me of when I first tried them way back in the day. Everyone at the store right now is pretty stoked about these Great Notion beers. And now you'll see, look at the color on this one. That is like this one glows in the dark, basically. This is like a vibrant, super green. I wish I could say it's natural colors in there, but obviously they add a little food coloring to it. But this one is their Bicycle Day highly experimental tart ale. So this one is tart ale with peach, apricot, pineapple, tangerine, some natural flavors in there, and different food coloring. So this one is like, just for the appearance alone, like this one is worth it.
Well, I love green. Green's my favorite color.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and I like frogs. So I like the, and I like riding bikes. So it's got a combination of a lot of things.
It's got everything.
It would intrigue me just from that.
So I find this one,
again, it's very green.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
especially compared to the other ones. Maybe I'll see what you say. I don't think it's as tart as the other ones. It comes across as a little sweeter.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I don't.
You don't find it that tart.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So you get more. Definitely like that.
I think that's actually the smoothest tasting one of the four.
It is smooth. Yeah. Because it doesn't have that same sharpness to it.
Yeah. I think if I had to pick right now so far, that'd be the one where I'm like, I could drink because these all come in big cans too. They're not small cans, they're super cans, but
they do. Yeah.
That's the one where I'm like, I could sip on that for long. The other ones I like,
it's a crusher.
Kind of is like I would say, hey, give me a few ounces in a cocktail glass, and I would probably like it.
I'm exactly on the same page as you. Yeah. Now this next one, so the blueberry muffin sort of kicked it off for the brewery, and they branched off and they do a whole bunch of different blueberry flavored beers. So this one is blueberry cheesecake. So blueberry, natural and artificial flavors. They're going for that cheesecake sort of vibe. So when they first started,
and like look at the color of it, like
it is. And this has been the staff favorite amongst everybody so far. Yeah.
Okay, well, I better
people are
take a sip of water here in between.
Yeah, and you can see even if you go back to the blueberry muffin, you smell that one and you smell this one, just how different it is. This is wild. When they first started too, like they used to. With the blueberry muffin, they went to Costco and just bought a whole bunch of blueberry muffins and threw it into the brew kettle. And
come on,
yeah, that's how they did it. And breweries now they kind of do that as like sort of a niche, tongue-in-cheek sort of thing now. But yeah, so they're just trying to replicate those desserty type flavors and really go for it. So yeah, the cheesecake you could smell.
Like I definitely taste the blueberry. I don't get a lot of a cheesecake flavor from it, but definitely blueberries.
Yeah.
Sure.
For me on the nose, like I smell that.
You smell
that cheese.
Well, I will say, as far as, because I know a lot of people are like, I don't really care how the beer smells, and that's totally valid to you if you don't.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the flavor it automatically becomes inviting how these ones smell.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's a huge, like, if you really want to get heavy into beer and get serious about it, that aroma is such a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Like the flavor is one thing, but yeah, you look at the texture, the aroma, the appearance of it. It's all part of the package and all part of the enjoyment of the whole thing.
And lastly, we got the Twitfee strawberry, blueberry, lemon, and marshmallow smoothie.
Look at this. Look at this one. It is so thick. You might need a spoon for this one.
It almost does look like a shake in a glass.
So this is sort of a specific style of sour beer called a smoothie beer, which you don't see too often.
No, I think this is the first smoothie beer we've had.
A smooth, because you don't. A few local breweries kind of gave it a shot a couple years ago, and again, Great Notion were essentially the ones to invent this style.
Ooh.
But it's there's so much fruit puree in this. It's basically fruit puree, like half puree and half beer. It is thick. It's like having a smoothie.
It doesn't taste much like there's alcohol in it at all. You could pour one of these in some. Hey, you want to try the new smoothie I made here? And one of your buddies, some health guy. Oh yeah, give me that one. Ooh,
totally. Yeah, I won't name any brand names, but yeah, you could think of popular smoothie joints and going and grabbing their
like
fruit-filled concoctions.
Yes,
it tastes like that.
It does. It looks like a smoothie and it tases like a smoothie. The difference is it's got alcohol. I'm just trying to look what
I think it's like 6.5%.
6.5.
And so the thing with smoothie beer
is actually really tasty.
And probably
honestly,
and probably the reason you don't see these too often because there's so much fruit in it. Combined with alcohol, you might see some re-fermentation going on. So there is, like, you always say to keep your beer cold, but if you pick up a smoothie sour, this has to stay in the fridge at all times. Otherwise, I have seen cans explode, and there's little re-fermentation that goes on. You might see like bulging in the can. It gets a little pressurized, And so that's why you don't see breweries do it too often. It's kind of, it's not conducive to shipping long distances. It has to be kept super, super refrigerated at all times. So usually we have a little Jason Gregor Thirsty Thursday display at our stores that are out on our warm floor. Even if it's for some beer, we have it out for a little while. These ones you shouldn't keep out of the fridge for any time period at all. So they're all in one section inside the
So
coolers.
they're in the fridge when you buy them, you keep them in the fridge.
If you buy them, especially if you pick up this Twisty, the smoothie sour one, like get it home, get it in the fridge ASAP, and probably crack it as soon as you can. These are all super limited edition too. So
these aren't. So don't buy these and keep them in the fridge.
No, buy them, pop them in the fridge. Twisty, like even in the fridge, don't keep it too long. Expect to drink it within the next
month.
Next month would be fine. I was like next week for sure. Cause and it
What
depends.
happens if you wait too long?
If you wait too long, it re-ferments. It could explode on you. Yeah, if you crack it open, you could see like a jet stream go into your ceiling. I've seen, breweries have gotten a little better at keeping them shelf stable, but I've seen, I won't name any names, but there's been, local breweries that have tried their hand at this style, and it sounds like a jet taking off when you open up the can if you leave it too long, with the re-fermentation and the pressurization that goes on in it. So that's like,
these are ones, if you're going to go to Sherbrooke and try the Great Notion, you're like, hey, I'm having the party this weekend. This is when I should get it.
Yeah, you should get this one. It's not a good selling point.
No, that's right.
The can's exploding. I just want everyone to be aware of that. And man, it's so worth it when you taste it. It's just so delicious. It's like a fruit smoothie dessert. It's unreal.
Yeah, I love it. Oh, it's very different, man. Very different, which is always good, and gets you thinking. So I like it.
Yeah, man. So did you have a favorite out of the bunch?
Well, I definitely think my fave would have been the bicycle day, but the Twisty, the smoothie
beer.
Ooh,
it is. Yeah.
Like I think you could have a fun little, as long as somebody wasn't like that, your friends aren't like anti-alcohol, would never want to give somebody alcohol who doesn't drink alcohol, but just kind of as a, hey man, I made this smoothie. Why don't you try it?
Yeah.
And then after, what do you think of it? Yeah, it has beer in it. What?
Yeah.
It's a beer.
It is. Yeah. So, it's a whole different experience. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So
cool.
There you go. Awesome.
Yeah. So again, these, Great Notion, they don't, and that's kind of their general vibe too. Like they have a couple locations in Portland, a couple in Seattle, but then even in the States when they're shipping, it's like they'll send one pallet to Pennsylvania during the year and then go to a different spot after that and kind of bounce around. And so we're very lucky to get them here in Alberta. They probably won't be here very long. They tend to go super quick. All the craft beer nerds pick them up whenever they're on our shelves. So yeah, if you are interested in getting them, I would suggest hitting us up sooner than later because they are going quick.
Awesome stuff, Steve. Thanks for your time, buddy.
Cool. Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks, Jason.
Stephen Bezan. So check it out. They'll have them right at Sherbrooke Liquor. They're flavorful. I'll say this. Like if you want to try something different, which is always great, you just buy one or two just to try it, see what you like. But the Twisty, it is literally like a smoothie and a beer. It's crazy. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Sports 1440. We're going to hear from some of the green and gold. We got stats of the day and much, much more. Some hockey talk. We got a lot of email, a lot of text coming in on the my opening about Mike Babcock. So we'll get to that more. Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Here's the comment. Sports 1440 update brought to you by Go Auto. Cars, trucks, SUVs, vans, any color, any style. They have over 15,000 to choose from. Right now, GoAuto.ca.
The Sports 1440 update.
Game 1 Eastern Conference Final goes tonight from Carolina. Canes and Canadians puck drop just after 6 for the IIHF World Championship. Canada surviving a scare from Norway, beating them in overtime 6-5. Mark Seifert, 3 goals and a helper. Evan Bouchard, 3 assists from the back. And in the association, Knicks and Caps tonight, 6 o'clock. New York leads that series 1-0. In the majors, you got Jays Yankees once again, first pitch, 5:05. 1 game underway right now. Nets on top of the Nationals, 2-0 in the bottom of the 4th. And in the PWA, coming up next on Sports 1440, we've got Terry Ryan And we'll speed things up in the Cantor Racing Report with Colin Livingston, plus a look at the Memorial Cup with Sam Cosantino. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's
My pleasure. Thank you.
playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Mr. Rooter gets attacked by a Canada goose.
Oh, look at that. Another on-time arrival. Nothing stops Mr. Rooter from plumbing on schedule. You gotta be kidding me. Hello, Mr. Goose. I'm Mr. Rooter. Okay, this is what you train for. Through rain, sleet, or goose, the pipes get fixed.
A Honda for a plumber who does whatever it takes. Mr. Rooter.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
New at Papa John's. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Say it with me. Spinach Alfredo sauce. Grilled chicken. Fresh Roma tomatoes.
40 Sports
all on
1440.
our fresh, never frozen pizza dough. 4 favorites, 1 pizza. So let's run it back.
Connor Halley,
The
Sports
spinach
14.
Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Right now, a large for just $18.99. Delivery or carry it. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC.
No one's ever accused car shopping to be fun. I mean, think about it. Awkward standoffs to get a price. Let me go talk to my manager. Dealers asking for your credit card, then melting your phone if you say no. See, not fun. At Northgate, I promise you a different experience. We make it fun. And you will like us, I promise. 0% financing, a great selection of new and pre-owned units. So for some fun, stop in today. 13215 97th Street or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Are new Mick Cafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
The Jason Gregor Show.
Donald Watts comes hunting.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe and some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest in the technology, techniques, skills, and people that know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show. The best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
after 3 o'clock, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. Hope you're having a lovely Thursday afternoon. It's the Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where, of course, it's Thursday today. It is Thursday, but it's also the daily grant for you to get involved. $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. That's $7.3 million. Pretty damn good, man. That would just be so nice. Just to wake up every day and know you have $1,000. Now, maybe you just feel like you got a little pep in your step to tackle the day even more. Maybe take a few risks that you wouldn't take. Maybe try, say, you know what? I know I got $1,000 a day. Maybe I'm going to start a new career. Maybe I'm going to start my own business because I got something in the back there. I can rely on knowing I got $1,000 a day, because I think most of us should be able to live very comfortably on $1,000 a day. Making 30 grand a month. What's that? Do quick math. 360. Well, it'd be $365K a year. Pretty good. And by the way, it's lottery money, so it's tax free. You only get taxed on the interest that you make. So if you're taking home 365, you gotta be making about $600. That's pretty good, I would say. Pretty darn good. So get your tickets, playalberta.ca. We got lots of text, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We'll get to a few of them and many others on the Oilers, on the NHL. Hey, Gregor, I'm torn. I don't know if I want Vegas to lose to see if Bruce Cassidy's available, or if I'd like Colorado to lose just because I don't want them to win again. Well, buddy, you got to make the decision. I can't help you on that one. Well, first of all, we don't know for certain that if Vegas loses, that they would automatically grant permission to the Edmonton Oilers. Now, they did say the reason why they haven't is because they're focused on the playoffs. Now, I can chuckle at that sentiment because Bruce Cassidy has nothing to do with the playoffs. On an off day between games, you could say, yes, we grant you permission. It's literally 30 seconds. Not even. Well, I guess 30 if you got to reply 3 times to 3 different teams. So I don't think it would be that much of a distraction. But anyway, that's what they've said. It's within their right. But when the season's over, are we certain they're going to do it? Like, I don't know if I can say for certain, we'll say, 100%. I can't say with 100% certainty they'll do it. I would like to think that they wouldn't, but we'll see. So there you go.
Can you recall in the past a situation where a team has said no?
No.
Like in any sport?
Yeah, I've seen it when you have a current assistant coach who's under contract. Yes, teams have said no to that. But I can't recall, and maybe someone out there does, I can't recall a head coach who was fired / relieved of his duties, who was then not granted permission to talk to another team. Like, maybe it's happened. I just can't remember. So if anybody out there knows of one, let us know. But I don't recall it. Now, talking to contract lawyers, they say it all depends on the wording of the contract. The fact that people say, well, Cassie can just quit. And someone asks, well, how is Paul Maurice different? Well, and you know what? That's a great question, because that's what I brought up when I asked the contract lawyer. He said, well, here's the difference. When Paul Maurice left Winnipeg, it was mutual. He said he was done. I think they need a new voice. And he didn't work right away. Right? He was done. It was in the season. He left. And then Florida hired him. I don't even remember how long later it was, 6-8 months. I don't know. Maybe even longer than that. And they hired him after they went to the Stanley Cup final, for goodness sake. Oh, no. Was it after? Yeah, the Brunette was, yeah. Or maybe they had Maurice, and then I have to look back. I can't remember if it was before or after. But either way, that Andrew Brunette was the guy. They said, you know what? No. We're gonna look at Paul Maurice here. So that one is a bit different. But they announced it, and it was kind of like, oh, you know what? I'm going to step down. They're going to let me step down. He didn't work anywhere right away. Now, who knows? Maybe he was on the phone in Florida the next week. I have no idea. But he wasn't hired right away. So if anybody out there has a similar situation, let me know. Hey, guys. Hey, Greg. What about the fact that maybe the Golden Knights won't let Cassidy talk to anybody because after the season, they'll get rid of Torts and bring Cassidy back? No chance. Like, I can't see how Bruce Cassidy, like, how could anybody do that? Like, no, that's not going to happen. Zero chance. So. (833-401-1440), 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregor, I give you credit where it's due. Your opening comments are 100% dead on. Can't stand people who are mean, abusive to anyone, especially young men or women. Thank you for your stance and words today. Babcock is not an option for the team. That one comes from Brad. Not everybody agrees with that. Hey, Gregor, I get what you're saying, but not very much different than Bowman turning a blind eye to everything that went on in Chicago. Well, I do see a very big difference, Darren. Did Stan Bowman do anything to Kyle Beach? No. He got told of a situation, went to his boss. His boss said, I'll take care of it. Now, Stan admitted, you know what? I should have done more. That's valid. But he didn't do the abusing, whether it's sexual, whether it's physical, whether it's verbal. You can't compare somebody who didn't actually abuse someone to someone who did. Because he didn't know the state of it. He didn't know the extent of it. Right? Didn't know the extent of it. And and like I said off the top, okay, so Bowman got a second chance. It's Edmonton. Babcock got a second chance. Columbus. And how long did it last? He couldn't even get to the regular season before his same traits and attributes reappeared. How can I control how can I show that my players, I control them? Hey, show me your pictures. Let's put them up on the big screen here on your phone. Think about that. Think about it. You have your own phone. You have pictures on your phone. I don't know what your pictures are, but they're your pictures. Maybe it's pictures of your kids. Maybe it's pictures of your dog. Maybe it's pictures of your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever. But it doesn't mean that they're for anybody's eyes to see. Imagine your boss coming into work. Hey, let's put your pictures up on the screen. No, it's an invasion of privacy. And it's a clear abuse of power. Full stop. So he got hired July 1st, resigned September 17th. He couldn't last 2.5 months without feeling the need to have to show his players that he has the power, which is a trait that he had prior. So that's the difference, man. You can't compare the two, right? If you're a believer in second chances, he got a second chance. And he showed who he was and that nothing had changed. And for them, I asked, and hey, I really like Darren Dreger and Pierre LeBrun, but I'm sorry. He said he's retired. What? Why not stand up and say, he shouldn't be hired? That doesn't mean he can't live a great life. He's able to do everything he wants. He can travel. He could be a greeter at Walmart. He could work anywhere. He just can't be a head coach in the NHL. Like, that's what I don't understand. Why are we so scared to say no to people who have a track record repeatedly of disrespecting their employees? Why? Well, not even an employee, because technically, right? But he's kind of the boss when you're the head coach. You're in a position of power. Right? Why are we scared to do that? Like, what the hell's going on? I don't get it. Right? Hey, Mike Babcock can do it. We got Steve texting me, but Mike Babcock did a lot of good things for Humboldt. Great. Good for him. Used his name for good in that regard. Great. Now, me as a skeptic would say, did he do that because he knows he was going to get goodwill and that maybe that would help repair his reputation? Right? Or because when you're somebody who needs the power, oh, look at me, I'm helping out everybody and everybody's going to pat me on the back. I don't know. Because this is not a one-time thing. Johan Franzen, Mike Modano, Mike Commodore, Mitch Marner, Columbus Blue Jackets. This is a history from when he started in the NHL. I don't even know about what happened in junior with the Spokane Chiefs. Like, I'm not naive enough to think, well, he never would have done this. Like, sadly, you have even more power as a junior head coach than you do as an NHL head coach. Right? You got younger kids. You got people who kind of get caught up in it thinking, well, I better listen to this guy because he's going to be my path to the NHL. And it's sad, right? I've spoke up many times about how Tim Hunter treated people when he was a head coach in Moose Jaw. It was a joke, right? An absolute joke. Embarrassing. Bullying kids. Give me a break. But I'm sorry, like, you can't be scared to call it. They might be good in a lot of other aspects of their life, but that's a part of who they are. And that's who Mike Babcock is. Flat out. Ask Mitch. And these are all on record. This is not hearsay. This is on record that he didn't deny. He even said when asked about the Mitch Marner situation, well, I was trying to teach him about work ethic and role models. It's a bad idea. What? Tell me how you think, hey, Mitch, why don't you list who the best work? Now, if you want to say list the 3 best workers on the team and end it there, that's how you could have said, okay, Mitch, that's how I want you to follow. Okay, great. No problem with that. Hey, Mitch, who do you think the 3 hardest workers on the team are? Boom, boom. List them off. Great. That doesn't mean the other guys aren't working hard. It just shows you who you think are the 3 hardest workers. Now, that's what I want you to emulate. You could probably live with that. Not rank them from 1 to 20 and then show the guy, hey, this guy thinks you're the least hardest worker. Like, give me a break. It's just, I'm sorry. I'll strongly disagree with anybody who tries to tell me, oh, yeah, but that's okay. He won a cup in 2008, though. It's okay. The cup in 2008 is irrelevant to what happened in Columbus, what happened in Toronto, what happened with Mike Babcock. They didn't win in 2011. What about Johan Franzen? Imagine what you would say to a player that would cause him to have a breakdown in the room afterwards. I don't think it was, hey, Johan, you suck. Right? Imagine what you have to say to get a player to do that. And then to have Chris Chelios say that's the worst thing he's probably ever seen in his career. Come on. Quick break. When we come back, Sam Cosantino will join. We're going to talk a little bit about draft picks coming up this year. I know the Oilers don't have a first rounder, but hey, there's a lot of good stories. There's some local guys, Verhoff and others. It's going to be a huge day for them. And we'll talk a little Memorial Cup and playoffs with Sam Cosantino. NHL playoffs, that is, on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
The sun's out, the pavement's warm, and that low rumble of a Harley rolling by? Oh yeah, that's calling your name. This is riding season, and if you've been thinking about a new ride, Harley-Davidson of Edmonton has the one that'll get your heart pumping. With a huge selection of new and pre-owned bikes, there's one waiting for you. Whether you're upgrading or just getting started. And while you're there, ask about test rides, because the only way to know is to ride it. For more details, visit Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail, locally owned and operated since 1980, or at hdedmonton.com.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Hey, hon, I'm getting expressions and images to frame my hockey card collection in the man cave.
Perfect. I'll come with you and bring our wedding photos.
For sports memorabilia and family treasures, think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks. Ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
When life unexpectedly changes, it can leave us feeling unbalanced, uncertain, and unsure of how to move forward. But you don't have to go through it alone. I'm Corey Anderson with Fairway Divorce Solutions. Our team helps reestablish balance, guiding you through your divorce with compassion, clarity, and support. Fairway has helped more than 6,500 families across Canada find a path towards a peaceful, fair resolution. With 2 offices in Edmonton, we're here to make your journey easier. Discover your options at Fairway Divorce.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
.329. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Be sure when you go to YouTube, hit the thumbs up or hit the subscribe button. Make the D-Man's day. Declan Kruger wearing his Syracuse I like to call it a K-Way jacket. I don't think that's the official term of it or not, but I even noticed a few players down at Elks today giving him the thumbs up over his jacket. So I don't know if he bought it online or not. We'll have to find out, Cons. Did he find that at a thrift store? Not sure where he got it, but it's. I might have to put that get a picture of that jacket. Seen it before, Cons? Like I know
it was a gift. Oh yeah,
it was a gift.
I always see it and I think, Carmelo Anthony. That's my first thought.
From Syracuse.
Yeah.
Right.
Warrington,
Okay.
yeah. National champion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It reminds me of like a starter jacket.
Starter. That's it. Yeah.
That's the one I always thought of. And I always wanted, like the cool kids had the Charlotte Hornets one.
Yeah. Charlotte Hornets was actually pretty popular back in the day due to the colors.
Yeah.
More than anything else.
Muggsy Bogues, I think.
Yeah. Like Jim Brown would have been one of the Jim Brown's from Syracuse, was he not?
I think so, yeah.
Pretty sure he was. Larry Zonka, Marvin Harrison. Trying to think of who else is from there. Oh, one of the greatest lacrosse players ever. Like I'm 99% sure right now that Gary Gate is from Syracuse. Went to Syracuse. So maybe look that up, Cons. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that Gary Gate was from some Syracuse. God, he was a hell of a lacrosse player, buddy. Ooh. Really good.
Yeah, you're right.
It was okay. See, every now and then pulling out of the sky. Derek Coleman, another. Trying to think basketball players from Syracuse, right? Derek Coleman, like he was the number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft, right? And like 89 or 90?
90.
Okay, there you go. See, every now and then I'll remember some obscure stat that means
Hakeem
nothing.
Warwick.
Who?
Hakeem Warwick, I think, as well.
Oh, that guy I don't know.
Yeah, I think he was there after Melo.
Oh, okay. There you go. Nice. Now, hey, our next man, we could probably ask our next guest just lots of just like random names he remembers. For a guy who scouted that often of guys that who is the best player you thought you saw who then just didn't pan out, right? Hey, every scout has one. I'm sure because hey, I know I thought Gilbert Brule for sure was going to be a good player. God, I loved him as a junior, and even early in the NHL, I was like, I think this guy's going to be a player, and it just never got to that level. It got to the NHL, which is hard enough, but never got to the level that I thought he would be. So I was definitely wrong on him. As we're going to talk a little NHL, a little Memorial Cup, a little NHL draft. We get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Ice Center. Coming up, Gene Simmons will be on stage, not in stage, on stage, the Silent Ice Center, coming up later on this year. You want to get your tickets? Small little venue. It's going to be very intimate. Sell out quickly, so get your tickets, silenticecenter.com. Is Sam Cosantino, Sportsnet analyst. Man, we can talk everything with Sam. So, Sam, who is the player looking back that you were like, man, I thought this guy for sure was going to be a great NHLer, and it just didn't pan out?
I had two guys that I was thinking about. Hunter Shinkarik was one of them.
Oh, good one. Yeah.
Yeah. I really, really liked his game. I thought he's going to be able to provide top six offense for a team. He's the guy that I really liked. And there's another guy. So the 1 year, Calgary had 3 picks in the first round, and 2 of them were Morgan Klimchuk, who I felt was going to bottom out as like a third line guy, and it never quite kind of panned out for him. Huge fan of that young man. You can see him. He's in the coaching ranks and doing his thing now. And there was another guy they took later who played in Gatineau by the name of Emile Poirier. And Poirier had an unbelievable draft year. And I thought, same sort of thing. Like when you look at these guys, you think, okay, if you're a first round guy, you should technically be a top 4 or a top 6 guy. But at the bottom out stage, when you get to the later stages of round 1, you think, okay, this guy's going to bottom out. He's going to be a 4th line energy guy, and he's going to give you PK time. Or this guy's going to be a 3rd line matchup guy and be able to, to defend and maybe give you some PK time. And so those are 2 guys that I sort of think about. Shinkarik in particular, I thought he was a guy who's going to be able to provide some top 6 offense.
And then on the other side, for fun, who is a player that you thought, I like this guy, but he just became an absolute top end player?
Well, I have to tell you, I suck with goalies. Like really, really suck with goalies. Okay. So Braden Holtby's a guy that I watched in junior hockey. I said, this guy doesn't stand a chance. But that happens a lot for me with goalies. And obviously he did his part to prove me wrong. And, he became one of the best goalies, won a Stanley Cup, really, really neat stuff there.
Yeah, well, goalies are hard, I think, for lots of people who even are goalies who study it. Because, like we've talked to Kevin Woodley about this, situation matters a lot for certain goalies, especially nowadays because the game has changed and you're going east to west. And, guys, you're going to give up good chances. So a lot of it's a little bit dependent on the situation. And historically, when you look at it, outside of the few exceptions of Price and Fleury and a few others, most goalies don't really become good until they're 25. So at 18, to try to scout on who you think is going to be good at 25, it's a pretty tough strategy, no question.
I'm so glad you say that, Jason, because that's the line that I use at work all the time. Like goalies are no good until they're 25. Yeah. I think you saw it with Binnington, right? I think he was 25, maybe 26 when he won his cup. Yeah. And he kind of struggled to maintain a regular spot. And he became really good and had a nice run. We've seen him obviously at the Olympics and 4 Nations last year and so on. But I agree with that. But the biggest problem is, like, every time you're looking at a goalie, it's, okay, let's start in junior hockey. Zach Fucale, he set all kinds of records as a 16-year-old in Halifax, okay? I had really high hopes for this guy. He's a little bit on the smaller side. But then at 17, he's playing, okay, good, no problem. Now you get into the pro ranks. Okay, where does he play? Where does he fit? Does he play in the Coast? If he goes to the Coast, is he going to take it seriously? Okay, if he's not in the Coast, is he going to play in the American League? Is he going to be a guy who's going to at least get you 30 games in his first year pro in the American League? So you're right. Like, slotting and situation has a huge thing to do with it, because ultimately you want to be able to draft your goalies and have them play in a place where they're a starter, even if it's a little bit under where they are, or maybe even a little bit over their heads, but you just want them to be able to get miles. That's the most important thing. And so if you look at the draft record of the Washington Capitals, you're going to see a team, Varlamov, Grubauer, Holtby, so on and so forth. The list goes on. Samsonov, of a team that really does well drafting goalies.
Now let's get to we'll get to the playoffs. I want to get to the Memorial Cup and even the draft. You look at the NHL quickly. Hey, Vegas, I said it yesterday. I thought they had to win a game without Cale Makar, because we know that Colorado with Cale Makar is even better, and they got it done. Carter Hart was very good in goal for Vegas. What did you see last night? Maybe that you didn't expect at all, and what adjustments do you think Colorado has to make for Game 2?
Well, I thought Colorado was a little, maybe not quite the fire that you normally see them come out with and the speed that they normally play with. And the thing about Vegas is, when you have a veteran-laden team, I think they had that perfect amount of rest and rust. And maybe the most important thing that they have going for them, I think, is the relationship between Tortorella and Hart. The goaltending has been their Achilles heel all season long. Tortorella knew Hart from their days in Philadelphia, so knowing how to manage that player and extract the most out of him has been hugely important. And it's worked out well for both. Tortorella's put his trust in Hart. Hart's played well, not having to look over his shoulder or check the lineup every time he walks in, and he's performed back to the levels that I expect him to be. So those are a couple of things there. Brett Howden, unbelievable playoff. I think he got his 9th yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. I've loved him since his days in junior. I never predicted him to be a guy who would be a top 6 kind of scoring guy. He's found that here in the playoffs, and good for him because I'm a big fan of his. So, a couple of little surprises in there for sure. But, Colorado now is going to be faced with the task of playing a team that's got that perfect amount of rust, but also they've been there before. Losing a game to Colorado is not going to rattle the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't think it will. And the Knights, hey, they got a big win, and now they're going to look for 2 in a row. In Colorado, we'll see if Makar comes back. Shoulders are brutal, man. You can come back, and any hit can re-aggravate it. It's difficult, and I've always been a big believer that health is the great equalizer in the playoffs for a lot of teams. Sometimes it costs you a Stanley Cup. Sometimes it's the reason you win a Stanley Cup. Montreal, what do they got to do to stop the undefeated Hurricanes?
You got to take advantage of this 2-week layoff. And I'm sure Rod Brindamore is going to have his guys at the top of the game. We saw a lengthy layoff after their first round sweep against Ottawa, and they came out guns a-blazing, against Philly there in round 2. And they were on top of it, and they didn't relent. And I would expect that type of effort to be present tonight. But I think Montreal's got to keep riding this emotional wave that they're on, and really try and take advantage of a team that's been off for it's almost 2 weeks now, I guess. Eh?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And we jammed all these games into the schedule to fit in the Olympics, and now we got a team in the playoffs that's got 2 weeks off. That's crazy.
Well, hey, when you win, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Right? You go 8-0, you get a little. They had, I think it was 8 days. I think this is 11 this time in between. And the last time they had an 8-day break, all they did was shut out Philly 3-0 in game 1 of that series. So I'm not, we had Taylor Hall on the show last week talking about just their practice and how everything is going. We have the same practice attributes all year long. They do the same thing repeatedly. Mm-hmm. So I think they'll be rested and ready to go. We had Steve Hamilton on from Everett earlier in the show, Sam, and the WHL hasn't won since he was an assistant coach of the Oil Kings in 2014. This Everett team is pretty good. There's no question. Where would you rank the teams going in, knowing that anything can happen in a one game for sure? But how do you rank Everett compared to Kelowna and the other teams from the Q and the O?
I'd probably look at Kitchener as the top ranked team, with Everett a very close second.
Okay.
And then I'd look at Chicoutimi to beat Moncton the way they did. What happened with Chicoutimi is unbelievable. They're down 4-1 going into the third of game 6, or was it game 5 rather? And they come back, and I think they won that game 8-6. And then they were down again the next game and came back. So, what they've done to a really good Moncton team has been really special. Now, Moncton unfortunately took a couple of hits with the loss of Paul Boudelier, former NHL first rounder, Stanley Cup winner with the Islanders, who was helping out with their defenseman. Awesome guy that I got to spend some time with, unbelievable guy, passed way too early for sure. And then of course it is truly fitting that Robert Irving passed right after Moncton was eliminated, because he loved his Wildcats more than the billions of dollars of businesses he owns, Canada and worldwide. So, good on Chicoutimi. But getting back to where Steve Hamilton's team is in Everett, it's systemic there, Jason. They're always good. And this goes back to when I started doing games in 2006.
Okay.
They had Cody Beach there, and they had Zach Hamill there, and they had Peter Mueller there. They've always been good. They've had good goaltending. They go to Mike Fraser as the GM, who takes over for Dennis Williams, who ends up going back to Bowling Green, his alma mater, and they don't skip a beat. They hire Steve Hamilton after he had a couple of rough turns here and there. I was texting with him the other day, and he's like, "Oh, you have no idea, buddy. This place, it's awesome. The organization is unbelievable." And so really, really happy for Steve's success, but they got a heck of a hockey team. This Mietinen's great. People are going to get their eyes open to Landon DuPont. Really excited for that. And then they have a supporting cast there. Liskey. There's a number of guys there that are really good. Their depth is good. I would have Kitchener just slightly ahead, but that might be an OHL bias.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it should be good. And, we'll look at Everett and Landon DuPont, pretty special player. Sam, Steve Hamilton kind of joked about, just what he's able to do and how quickly he's able to read things. And he's a really great player and very dedicated, which doesn't surprise you. You don't get great without being dedicated, but you've seen a lot of young defensemen. What about, and DuPont isn't even draft eligible this year. He's not draft eligible till next year. What do you like most about his game?
Well, for me, it's just the confidence to get up and go and do whatever's required at that moment in the game. He's got a year in the league already, but to have that kind of wherewithal and then to apply and execute with what you want to do, that's so impressive at a young age. And the fact is, other players are looking at this guy and they're saying, okay, exceptional status. Oh yeah, I get it, because he does everything that's required, and everything that the game throws at him, he has an answer for, and then of course he had the offensive prowess and the ability to create that way. But I have to say, I think a lot of these guys, you're going to see a couple of them in the draft. Ryan Lynn, Xavier Villeneuve, Tommy Blyle are guys that you'll probably see all go in the first round, who are a little bit on the smaller side, but who have been so heavily influenced by what we've seen from Wayne Hughes, Makar to a lesser extent because he's a little bit bigger, but from a Quinn Hughes perspective, or what we're seeing from Lane Hudson.
Yeah.
And now these guys understand that watching those guys in the National Hockey League, I believe, gives them confidence to try and do the same things that those guys are doing in the NHL, to do it at their respective levels, on the CHL and in Landon's case, the WHL with Everett.
Speaking of defensemen, I have to ask you. So there's Chase Reed, there's Carson Carrolls, there's Keaton Verhoff, there's Albert Smits, Daxon Rudolph, all guys expected to go in the top 10. It's hard to pick. But which one, if you had to choose one of them first, who would you pick and why?
Oh, man. For me, I think Chase Reed's going to be my first D off the board.
Okay.
So you got a 6'2", 185-pound guy who skates like the wind, who really has a dynamic element to his game. I've watched him the last couple of years. He passes the puck like a pro. I could see him really easily moving pucks to Nathan McKinnon and Nate not getting pissed off about it, right? He has that ability to do that. He can run a power play, and I believe he runs a PP1 unit at the NHL level, but he's not afraid to defend. And Jason, maybe most importantly for me is his story. Smits has been able to do everything internationally for Latvia, playing the Olympic Games, playing in the World Under-18s, World Under-20s, so on and so forth. If I look at Carl's, he's kind of been a top guy in Prince George. He's added the offensive game. Same thing for Daxon Rudolph. We've known about these guys. Whereas Chase Reed, nobody knew who the hell this guy was, including their own coaches. He got cut from a USHL team. That true story. Got cut from the USHL. Was playing in the Null. Now, with all due respect to the Null, it's not a top-tier junior league. They've produced some good players, but it's not a top-tier junior league. And so Sault Ste. Marie comes calling because Andrew Gibson's going to play at the World Juniors. He steps in there in the final 39 games of the year. He goes 40 points. And then he comes back this year. Oh, wait, Cole Hudson's injured. I think I'll just run the power play for the American World Junior team. So the adversity that he's faced coming in with the dynamic talent, the size, the fact that he's a right shot guy and can skate, all of those things check a lot of boxes. But as you know, I tend to lean more on the story side and more about the journey. And for Chase, I think he's probably had the most difficult journey of any of that group.
Well, I think there's a lot to be said about players who have had to deal with adversity at some point in their career that they're able to handle it better. And sometimes that's you're 16, 17, 18, you have a shoulder injury or a knee injury, something that doesn't ruin your career, but just it's a setback, and you have to learn how to handle it, because there's lots of players, and we've seen lots of first rounders, really good players, and then they get to the AHL or the NHL, and it's the first time ever that they're not the best player, or suddenly they're going 5 games without a goal, and they don't know how to handle it because they've never had that before. And it's something that you can't really teach adversity till you're in adversity.
Yeah, and that's probably the separator for me. Okay. Because honestly, from a skill perspective, like, I love what Rudolph brings to the table. You know, you've seen Carl's, like, he's just commands the ice when he's out there. Smith is playing huge minutes at the Olympics as an 18-year-old. Like, it's crazy. So I think, though, this guy and his adversity and his path and his journey is probably what sets him slightly apart from the rest of the group for me.
Sam, always great to talk to you, buddy. Enjoy the playoffs, enjoy the WHL, the Memorial Cup, and of course, the upcoming draft. We'll talk to you again soon. As always, appreciate your time.
Okay, Jason, thanks for having me. Take care.
Yeah, there you go. That's Sam Cosantino. I love everybody's hat. I'm sure every listener out there, you're like, oh man, I watched this guy in junior, loved him, thought he was going to be great. And it didn't happen because it's hard. Like, it's really hard to be a regular NHLer. Never mind me, a great NHLer. To be a regular NHLer is hard enough. We'll come back, and oh baby, it's back. It's early. We'd be good or bad, and we might have the most odd sports connection to a strike that I can think of. We'll get to that and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Your weekend hotspot is at On the Rocks.
Party with Edmonton's best bands every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And we got them all.
From the Varkels to Tallboy, Radioactive, Curves, the Brute Squad, Morningwood, Roxilla, Punch Buggy, and more.
Plus, the guy who keeps the party going every weekend. DJ Kenny K on the ones and twos, live.
Get ready to have a good time this weekend.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Jasper Ave and 118th.
Good to go. Good to go. With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. MortgagesToGo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly. Guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say, good to go.
From the first face-off to the final, Sports 1440 is your home for hockey talk. With live coverage, expert analysis, and pre- and post-game shows, we bring you closer to the game. Tune in 24/7, only on Sports 1440, Edmonton's sports station.
When thirst strikes and your energy begins to fade, one hero rises above the rest. Introducing the Superpower Smoothie from Booster Juice. A bright sun-charged burst of mangoes, bananas, and blue spirulina. An out-of-this-world smoothie, just in time for the new Supergirl movie. Discover your power and channel your inner superhero. Fly into your local Booster Juice and experience it for yourself today. And see Supergirl. Only in theaters June 26th.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. No one's ever accused car shopping to be fun. I mean, think about it. Awkward standoffs to get a price. Let me go talk to my manager. Dealers asking for your credit card, then melting your phone if you say no. See, not fun. At Northgate, I promise you a different experience. We make it fun. And you will like us, I promise. 0% financing, a great selection of new and pre-owned units. So for some fun, stop in today. 13215 97th Street or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
I'm gonna make it bend and break.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Elks Nation. Check out elksnation.ca. Articles, podcasts, and more breaking down the green and gold. The most in-depth double football coverage, elksnation.ca.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
354. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely day. It's time for the Racing Report, brought to you by Cantork. Made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com. And really unfortunate, some breaking news just coming down in the racing world that Kyle Busch, at age 41, has passed away abruptly due to just some had an unfortunate health issue, and he passed away today. NASCAR just put that out, so that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, I always look forward to this. It's kind of a highlight of the week, but just before we came on, read the news and really shaken up, actually. Like, we raced with Kyle's team. We knew their family, we knew their employees. Like, while Kyle certainly has a reputation and he's very polarizing around, the NASCAR world and fans, because he's quite outspoken, was just an absolutely lovely guy. He was a fierce competitor for sure, was probably, my opinion, the most talented driver that we've seen. I mean, Kyle Larson is definitely up there. Like the most talented since, at least Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson. But just like, kind of, I don't want to say at a loss for words, but really, really shaken, because, the guy's 41, and it's one thing if, you get caught up in a car accident, something untoward, but this is an illness. This is like a world-class athlete that, was in really, really good shape. So I'm trying to wrap my head around how, he could be, stricken with something that just ended him so quickly.
Yeah. Very, very sad news.
Yeah.
Now, this is one of the busiest weekends, one of the biggest weekends in motorsport. You got the Indy 500 pre-race at 8 a.m. Race goes at 10:30. Then you got the Canadian Grand Prix F1 at 2 p.m. our time. NASCAR Coca-Cola goes at 4 p.m. And Catherine Legg, she's going to try to take the helicopter from Indianapolis Speedway to get out to do the NASCAR Coca-Cola, do the double dip. But that in itself is pretty hard to do. But let's start with what's kind of, it's a fun weekend. If you're a race fan, you got a lot of options to look for. But I want to get your thoughts on NASCAR Canada, because it kind of, follows a little bit in the footsteps of NASCAR. And quote from their from their race director: "Bumper cars shoving cars is not good racing." End quote. And they've kind of inherited some of NASCAR's choose rule, which basically says it forces drivers to pick the inside or the outside lane before coming back to the start-finish line. So what do you make of this?
I hate this choose rule. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to play a political role. I hate it. It's gimmicky. It's contrived. It's complete horse fertilizer. We inherit a lot of the rules that US NASCAR implements, and NASCAR will test these things out. Sometimes they test things out in the lower series like ours and move it up. Sometimes they implement things in the bigger series and then force it down. I think there's a lot of time where NASCAR just doesn't really understand the budgets that we're dealing with and how we're not set up to implement these things. So we don't have, a spotting team of like 5 drivers where we can have somebody watching who's choosing which lane. We've got somebody watching this corner, that corner, the other corner. I mean, on the weekend, we had 2 spotters. And we're basically on top of each other. So we're at, Mosport, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. It's a 10-turn racetrack. We've got 1 spotter that was over in, watching 8, 9, and 10. You come onto the straightaway, and then I'm at turn 1. So between when we see the car at turn 8, the crew chief tries to get on the radio on the front straightaway, then I have to get on the radio at turn 1, and then we basically go silent for a minute and 10 seconds kind of thing, or a minute, because we don't have good radio communication. But this choose rule really played a part in creating the chaos that our new race director says that they're trying to avoid. Like, I'm not pointing the finger at him. He can only play by the rules that NASCAR gives us. But we had cars way out of position. We had, guys at the front, and it's entirely their right. If they decide not to pit, they're up front. But we had one car started on the front row on one of the restarts, just got driven over, runs back to, he was probably back to 10th or 12th by the time we came back around, where there was another caution. But the way NASCAR rules work, we revert back to the previous lap's positions. So if you pass 5 cars on a restart, but there's a caution before you come back, you've got to give those spots back. You go back in so
it's weird.
Excuse me. Then he ended up getting contact because he's still on old tires, and everybody knows to take advantage. And I think he ended up at least a lap down. I'm not sure, because we got caught up in our own stuff, but hopefully we can take a look at this and impart a little bit of common sense. I really appreciate what Steve's trying to do. I agree with him 100% that the bumper cars in the last lap, aggression that we've seen, time and time again, needs to go away. And, while I won't, throw any of the drivers under the bus, he did throw a penalty for a driver who's known for playing games, got, didn't follow the instructions and got shuffled back to the tail end of the longest line towards the end of the race, which took away their shot at winning. So it's nice to see that there's a new guy in town who's willing to, look past somebody's number or look past somebody's reputation and say, I don't care if you're going to break the rules. If you're not going to listen to what I'm saying, you're not going to succeed.
F1 in Montreal a little bit earlier than usual, and weather looks decent Friday, Saturday. A race day right now, it's like 75% chance of rain, so hopefully that changes. But the new regulations, Montreal has a ton of wide open throttle sections and then short, infrequent braking zones that they're used. That's where you, quote, recharge the battery. Is this track kind of set up to expose the new rules as not being great?
I think, again, I'm very pessimistic on the new regulations. I'm not going to hide that, but like tracks like Montreal and Monza are going to really show the bad side of this new package, that there's no time for the car to really regenerate. You have a really, really tight braking zone through, turns 1 and 2. You have a short stint before you get to the next chicane, and then you're pretty much wide open throttle. There's going to be a lot of this leapfrogging passing that we've seen at places like China and Australia. In my opinion, the only hope is that it does rain, because then the cars won't be running really at wide open throttle. They're not going to be able to utilize as much of the power that they have, because they're going to be way more focused on traction. If it's a dry race, I think we'll see a little bit. Maybe qualifying won't be so bad, because they might be able to manage their battery power over a lap. But if it's dry in the race, I think it's going to be a real stinker.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Now, McLaren's bringing their second wave of upgrades, right? So I don't know if that's going to change anything for them. Ferrari doesn't like the rule changes like others, but what do you make of these McLaren's second wave of changes?
Yeah, we won't know. I mean, it's always it's always interesting to me that a team like McLaren, they obviously had a terrible Australia. Piastri crashed out when the ECU, gave them way too much power on the outlap. They didn't start China. And then just magically they flip a switch and they're running in the top 3. Like, statistically and practically, that's not really possible. And I'm not saying that they're cheating. I'm saying that they found something that other teams haven't had. So now that they're making their car better, they're definitely going to be in contention. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, they're way behind the 8 ball, and they need a lot of good luck to really get back in the mix. You can't really have, there's no throwaway races in F1. So to be 2 races behind is it's not insurmountable. It's just really difficult.
And Indy 500.
Yeah.
Who do you like?
Boy, I mean, it's so hard to bet against Palou. He's got everything going on. I mean, he got unlucky 2 weeks ago during the Grand Prix. Was really the fastest car. Just got a little unlucky with pit stops, but came out with the pole. Pole doesn't really matter so much at Indy. It's great to have. But really, really almost anyone in that field can walk away with a win. It's just, you need that luck, make that last pit stop at the right time, you don't necessarily want to be leading towards the end. You probably want to be in the top 5 so you can, get the benefit of drafting and kind of play it out. But, definitely my favorite event of the year. I might even have to break my not my boycott, but my streak of not watching the big NASCAR for a number of years, just to see how Catherine handles herself once she gets to Charlotte. I mean, it's such a monumental task. I mean, if the race goes full length, she's only got 2 hours to get out of the track at Indy and get in her car at Charlotte. It's a 1 hour flight, 2 helicopter rides. It's not going to be easy. Historically it doesn't have anything to do with the double, but historically we had the Monaco Grand Prix in the morning, because they run in the afternoon in Europe. So we'd get the F1 race first thing in the morning. Then there was a little gap to the Indy 500 and then the NASCAR race. But with F1 running in Montreal, she's going to be, back to back from about 10 o'clock in the morning until late at night.
Try to nap on the plane in between. I would think get a little cat nap in there. Awesome. We'll talk a little karting next week. We're a little bit late, so we'll get into some of the kart stuff next week. Enjoy the weekend, because there is a lot. If you're a racing fan, you got NASCAR, you got IndyCar, you got F1 all together. Should be fun.
It's a big one.
There you go. That's Colin Limits in the Racing Report, brought to you by Can Torque. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Fountain Tire. At Fountain Tire, they focus on your vehicle so you can focus on enjoying the drive worry-free. Book your appointment today, whether you're seeing just vehicle repairs, you need new tires, you want to get a little bit of their digital vehicle report, they can do it all, fountaintire.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Game one of the Eastern Conference Final goes tonight from Raleigh Puck Drop just after 6. Canadians and Hurricanes earlier today across the pond at the World Championships. Canada surviving a scare against Norway, winning 6-5 in overtime. In the associations, you got Knicks Cavs game 2 tip off at 6 o'clock. New York leading 1-0. And Major League Baseball this evening. Jays Yankees once again first pitch just after 5. We'll join that game in progress on our AM feed here on Sports 1440. One game underway right now. Mets lead the Nationals 2-1 midway through the 8th. Earlier today, Tigers fell to the Guardians. There was the Pirates over the Cards 6-2 in the WNBA. Tempo in action heading to Minnesota for a meeting with the Lynx at 6. And sad news as NASCAR driver, two-time Cup champion Kyle Busch has passed away earlier this afternoon at the age of 41. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by former NHLer Landon Ferraro. Ask 5 questions and hear Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440. BKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Hear that? That's your entry calling. Go Auto is sending you to the biggest football event in the world, live in Vancouver, with tickets, flights, and a hotel stay for 2. To enter the contest, just text GAME
Facebook
to
X. It's after 3 o'clock, Sports 1440.
That's GAME to 780 all sevens. Go Auto, get in the game.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new Mick Cafe refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
Hey, sports fans,
welcome
we've
back,
got a
Jason.
clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com.
It's a big one.
Culligan,
there you go,
water you love.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take 1 for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for ACG.
I will never know
What's
the
not to
exact
love
number
with
of
no
emails
interest and
sitting
no
on.
prince of payments
I don't know how
for
many
1 year.
armchair general managers are.
Like this?
Yep, unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Noodle, 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 noodle.
And his rhythm and their instinct, because of them at Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. I will never.
Noodle, 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 noodle. Noodle, 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 noodle.
Trouble low down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
The puck is passed up through the neutral zone, and here's a breakaway. He's coming in hot. He shoots it. Oh, no, a broken stick.
When it comes to performance, quality parts matter. Napa Auto Parts has all the reliable parts, tools, and more to keep your vehicle running like a playoff contender. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
Welcome back to Nissan Head to Head. Today, we've got Nissan Kicks coming in strong as a leader in fuel efficiency for gas-only CUVs. Some of the other guys respond with a wallet-breaking detour to the pumps. Hats off to Nissan's fuel-efficient Japanese engineering.
Right now, finance a Nissan Kicks for 0% for 36 months. Visit nissan.ca for details. Conditions apply.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Portions of this hour brought to you by EWL. Helping you finish your electrical project is their goal. From pot lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at ewell.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. ewell.ca, your partners in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Thursday afternoon continues on. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. Hope you're having a lovely Thursday. What a beautiful day. Easily the best day for Elks training camp today. It was just awesome. We're going to get Cody Fajardo coming up a little bit later on in the program. Or maybe I interviewed him today. We might even play that tomorrow. Of course, the Elks will have a run through tomorrow, and then they'll get into heading down to Victoria for their game on Saturday. Lots of the starters are going to get some playing time. Not a ton, of course. It's preseason, but they're going to get some. They're not going to be playing a full half or anything like that. But it will be good. Good to see kind of what they have with the lights on, as players and coaches both tell me, man, like, you think you know what you got until you get into some games. And, as Cody Fajardo said, for him, he's actually going to get hit because, you know what, you think you're doing weight and everything's great, but all of a sudden, hey, you got to get hit. Well, that changes things a little bit. So we'll see. We'll get to Cam Tate as well in the 2-minute warning. We got a lot of text to get to. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Just a reminder, anybody who's out there driving, the Gretzky Bridge southbound is closed. Unfortunately, looks like there's a fatality there. So, there's a sheet over someone. So hopefully it's something else. But that's not great from one of our listeners passing that on. So you probably want to avoid southbound on Gretzky, the old Capilano Bridge, depending on your what era you are from. But either way, not good. Let's get to Tater and the 2-minute warning, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change, no overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. And Cam Tate, longtime journalist in town. Cam always wanted to be on radio, and now through the wonders of technology, his words come to life in the 2-minute warning.
I will never know the exact number of emails sitting unread in the Sports 1440 servers. I don't know how many armchair general managers are currently shouting their brilliant theories into the digital void. But one particular message caught my eye on Tuesday afternoon. It was a quick note from a listener named Jeff. Barely 2 sentences, if that. No rambling paragraphs, no complex analytics, zero fuss. Just a single name offered up as a remedy for the Edmonton Oilers' vacant coaching job. Gerard Gallant. Got that, Gregor? Gerard Gallant. The Oilers are a fascinating study in modern hockey headaches. All the elite talent in the world, none of the necessary direction. Right now, they look like a pristine Ferrari being steered with a rusted lawnmower steering wheel. Things fell apart. The locker room went quiet. The joy simply disappeared. They need a voice to cut through the heavy fog. Jeff thinks that voice belongs to the man they call Turk, a nickname he got from his siblings. Gerard Gallant is a rare breed. He comes from Summerside, Prince Edward Island. He bled for the Detroit Red Wings alongside Steve Yzerman. Over 600 hard-fought games, more than 1,600 penalty minutes, a massive 93-point season. He knew how to fight. He knew how to score. He knew the heavy physical cost of winning. His record behind the bench speaks just as plainly. He won the Jack Adams Award. He took the Vegas Golden Knights to the Stanley Cup Final, a roster of literal cast-offs, an island of unwanted toys. He managed that motley crew like a maestro conducting an orchestra of kazoos and somehow making it sound like Beethoven. In their very first year, he found his footing. He found his rhythm. He found a way to win. Then he went to New York. He marched the Rangers to 110 points. He pushed them deep into the playoffs. He built trust. He built belief. He built winners. Sometimes a hockey team loses its way entirely. The systems get too rigid. The whiteboards get far too crowded. The players stop skating and start overthinking. Then a new voice arrives. The tension breaks. Things come back together. Gallant does not suffocate his players with heavy blueprints. He does not need a 50-page manual to teach elite athletes how to play hockey. He lets his top talent rely on their instincts. He treats his room with profound respect. The Oilers are strictly on the clock. No multi-year projects. No endless lectures. 0 wasted days. They do not need a hockey philosopher holding court. They need a motivator who can walk in and command the room right now. I don't know if the front office is listening to Jeff, but above all, I hope Edmonton makes the call. Because a coach like Gallant teaches us all a simple truth. When you clear away the noise and trust your people to do what they do best, they will always carry you forward. Got an idea like Jeff? Cam at sports1440.ca. That email, Cam at sports1440.ca. 2-minute warning. This is Cam Tate, sports1440.ca.
Yeah, it's an interesting name. Gerard Gallant, you're bang on that he kind of beats to his own drum. That's hard-nosed guy. He had pretty good success, right? Not early in his career, but definitely in the later stages of his career in Florida and Vegas and New York. Lost in the finals with Vegas, lost in the quarterfinals with New York. And Gerard would probably, you know what, if you ask him straight out, if there's one thing maybe at times he's very outspoken and sometimes wasn't always on the same page as his managers. Not so much the players, more his management type. So I'd be surprised if he was the guy. Only because it's going to take someone really trustworthy to want to hire someone who has a little bit of a reputation of butting heads with his guys above him. Right? It's just how it is. So you have to do some research on that one for sure. So, hey, if the worst thing you've done is challenge and butt heads with your GM, that's, doesn't mean it's awful. It all depends on how you go about it, right? He wasn't he's not on the Babcock level at all. It's not even comparison, right? So, but there's always that, if you're out of the league for too long, when does it become, right or wrong, out of sight, out of mind, right? That always becomes a factor. for sure, whether you like it or not. And he's now, 62, hasn't coached for, well, it's really only been 3 seasons, right? Last year, I think, was with the Rangers. He got let go at the end of the 23 season. So
just stepped down from the KHL job due to health concerns, though.
Oh, he did? I didn't see that. Oh, there you go.
Back in January.
Okay,
So
well, that'll probably lower his chances then. Hopefully, health-wise, everything's good. So, there you go. Speaking of coaches, the Trailblazers have requested permission to meet with Jeff Van Gundy for their vacant coaching job, of course. He's a current assistant for the LA Clippers. So there you go, a little coaching nose from the NBA. When we return, Landon Ferraro will join us. We got Montreal, Carolina tonight. Also, Vegas. Ooh, last night, what do you think? Was it just, you know what? Colorado couldn't score? Because, man, they were all over him at times, couldn't bury it. And then Vegas, hey, they scored on their chances. Vegas had better goaltending last night. There's no debating that. And they definitely finished their chances. So we'll see. We'll see what's in store for game 2. Do you think Cale Makar plays in game 2? That's a big one for sure. We'll return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
May brings more of what you're looking for at Wolf GMC Buick. The selection never better. The savings up to $12,000 when you combine cash discounts on your new 2026 Sierra 1500 pickup. Up to $1,750 in cash rebates on remaining 2025 Terrain SUVs. Plus 0% financing up to 72 months on most models. And ask about the truck trade-in bonus of up to $1,500 on select new in-stock Sierra 1500s.
Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
This summer, it's coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the Sweatbox.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With fast appointments and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon, so book today.
Lock in pre-season pricing today.
Visit ProSolutionsInc.ca to schedule your service today.
It's the final weekend of the Brick's famous tent sale. Take up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and in-store. Overstock, scratch, and dent, and unadvertised in-store specials in every department. Plus, buy more, save more. Up to $1,000 off select major appliances. And score a bonus Bluetooth party speaker with a qualifying purchase. You could get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and a dining set, all for less than $1,500. Only at the Brick's tent sale. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Day or night, tasting just the right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Rivalries run deep in Alberta football.
Edmonton all the way. Calgary rules.
But when it comes to the best snack for 3-down fun, there's no Battle of Alberta. It's a clear winner.
Wilhauk beef jerky.
The one thing every Alberta fan agrees on. So whether you're watching the game from your recliner or in the stands, make it a part of your game day.
Wilhauk beef jerky. Because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Are you looking for safe and reliable transportation solutions for your wedding, corporate retreat, or golf trip? Look no further than Silent Rides, Alberta's premier charter bus company. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer 3 different sizes of units to cater to your needs, and we provide first-class service at affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Millions and millions of Canadians do not have a doctor. we have a crisis. Canada's Medical Clinic is opening clinics across Canada to allow everyone to have a doctor to call their own. Early detection saves lives. We've got some great news. You can call now and book an appointment with your new doctor. Canada'sMedicalClinic.com. And more good news. Canada's Medical Clinic Windermere is also now a walk-in clinic. We'll see you there.
To the guy who said, I'll marinate the chicken, then forgot. Hi, your Safeway PA announcer here. We've got you covered with a variety of freshly prepared kebabs, ranging from chicken to beef and pork. They even come pre-marinated, so all that's left is pretending you made it yourself. And they're on sale this week. For more great summer deals, check our flyer at safeway.ca. Variety may vary by store. See flyer for details.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. It's essentially the weekend at OTR with drink specials all day, $3 mini Rockstar burgers from 5 to close, and salsa lessons starting at 8:30. Head on down to Jasper Ave and 118th or online at ontherocks.yeg.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
How you doing? Thursday afternoon. Beautiful day outside. This is the day. Hopefully, you had a coffee break at work or something that allows you to get outside. Maybe you're one of the lucky ones on a day like today that gets you to work outside. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Beautiful day out. Gorgeous day down at Green and Gold Camp. The players are, we're just hanging out there like, this is awesome. It was a gorgeous Thursday afternoon. Sunny, not too hot, just perfect. Hopefully it keeps warming up. Time now to go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's, and stop in at McD's. Today, you can try out their newest drink drop is coming in ice cold. From creamy crafted sodas to sparkling, juicy refreshers. Explore the entire lineup of new flavors now pouring only at McDonald's. As Landon Ferraro, pre- and post-game host here on Sports 1440, also analyst to Sportsnet, joins us. And Landon, no Cale Makar, Vegas took advantage. How much do you think the Makar factor plays in? Like, they're down. Does he play game 2? Do you rest? I know it's a shoulder. It's hard to come back from, but how much, if any, do you think his absence played into Vegas's win last night?
Oh, I think it greatly played into it, right? Like the difference of trying to get out of their own end. When you have guys that can expose people with speed, when you have to worry about someone on the back end, though, taking that himself and then giving that dish at the last second because he can make the rush. Like, it's a completely different mind frame going in on a forecheck. And when you're going back and chasing guys that, are good defensemen, but, of course they're not as mobile as Makar. Like, you can be a lot more aggressive. You're a lot more comfortable. I don't want to say diving in, but taking that extra chance, knowing that, your guy's back there to back you up, but we can pressure into more turnovers, especially into the neutral zone. Like, that was really tough for Colorado last night, trying to get themselves through.
Yeah, Colorado started, they had tons of chances early, didn't bury it. They just couldn't score. Like, Carter Hart was pretty good last night for Vegas. I think it's fair to say he was the better of the two goalies for sure.
Yeah, he was. And he had to have some really good stops at different points and big at big points in the game as well. And for him to answer that, it's good. But you talk about Makar being out, and not that Colorado is easy, to just run over now by any means. Like, it's still going to be a really good series regardless of what happens with Makar. But again, like, you do have that confidence. When a game breaker's not in the lineup, for the other team, like you're emboldened that much more if you stick to the team game and play that real tough kind of, tough to get through the neutral zone type of play. It's really, it's a lot easier knowing that there's not that one game breaker that can jump up and just beat it.
Yeah, for sure. It is, it will be fascinating to see what they do. And really, Makar's status is going to make, now, hey, they had 38 shots last night, so they were still able to generate a lot. I think they would like to bury. I do want to comment, though, on, I know they didn't win the game, but the McKinnon move in the corner on the second goal, like, are you kidding me? That's one of the best moves I've seen in a long time.
It's one of those plays that I laugh at when they happen, because like so many people make that move, but it's such a different pace and such a different, like his was so rigid, the cut back, and how fast his hands were to cut back or get them to the other side again. Like, I'd work on that, but I'm throwing that thing around the back of the net on a rim by accident, because there's just no way to hold on to it. But the way that he can jump back the other way, he already knows where he's going with it. It's just like when McDavid does something once in a while that you just look at and you're like, that is so different than anyone else that we see.
Yeah. Oh, buddy, there's few, like McDavid could make that move, and there's probably a few other guys, but to just how he did it so quickly, the footwork and the transition of direction, like the D-man's got no chance, like literally no chance on that play. If that was basketball,
because even if he reads it perfectly and tries to get ahead of it, well, then he just keeps going and you're beat on the other side. So like you can't cheat it, and you know that you're kind of toast either way.
Yeah. Like there's not much you can do. So we'll see where it goes. Now, Carolina, Montreal tonight. We got one team who's 8-0. You got the other team who's 8-6. One team's played the minimum. One team's played the maximum. Carolina has looked very good. Now, some say, they haven't played anyone in Ottawa and Philly. And that's fair compared to Tampa and Buffalo, who Montreal has faced. But Carolina's look really good, man. Their second line is killing it right now. They're producing like their top line in the Hall, Stankoven, Blake line. What do you make of Montreal's chances against Carolina?
I like them in the sense that they can take, like Montreal can take a beating and still find ways to score and keep themselves in it. Like Carolina's not an easy team to try and play like a more freewheel game against and let scores climb a bit higher. Like as much as Carolina can score, like they like playing their structure and playing that kind of more grind style and just kind of working you over. But again, like Montreal, the way that they can take punches and then they get that power play and it's almost automatic that they're going to put it in. Like I still think Carolina is going to do it, but I think it's going to be a really good series. And to just kind of somewhat straddle the fence, like I wouldn't be surprised if they pull it off, but I do think this is Carolina's year to break through and have a really good chance at taking down a cup.
You look at, there's been a fair amount of offseason moves, and now we're going to wait. Obviously, in Edmonton, there's lots of talk about who the coach is going to be, and sadly, it gets to the desperation point where people even mention Mike Babcock. Like, give me a break. I'm sorry. Babcock had a second chance against Columbus and couldn't even make it through the summer.
That's not happening.
Yeah, like it shouldn't happen. He shouldn't even be mentioned. Like, I'm sorry. He can live his life, do whatever, but he's lost the right to be an NHL head coach, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, like you get removed from your job for certain activities and how you're treating people. You get your second chance after a number of years and you don't make it to training camp before messing up in basically the same exact way. So like you can't sit there and say you learned anything.
Yeah.
And what is different now? So to me, I think there's too many really good up and coming young coaches and guys that are already in the system that there's really good options. And to me, I don't know why you would bring that extra attention onto your team.
Yeah. It would not be ideal for sure.
No, like that's just guaranteeing another drama, at least drama start to a season, and that's not what teams are looking for.
No, not at all. Looking at the upcoming Memorial Cup in your home province of BC, and you look at it, Kelowna. Where do you come out on, like, how big of a deal is the Memorial Cup for you?
I mean, I grew up watching it and, obviously wanting to try and play in it. I ended up being on some not good teams and didn't have a chance of getting there. But, like for me, my dad won in, I think it was 83.
Yeah.
In Portland. And, like I hear stories about that. I saw his, at that time, a tiny little ring and all of that. And, it's something that I've always paid attention to. Have I lost a bit of focus on it a bit, but at the same time, starting back up into the media side, it's something that I look forward to. When it was in Kamloops, what was that, 2 years ago, I went up there and watched a few games and kind of made me, fall in love with junior again. Like watching those guys, it's the same as the World Juniors, right? The excitement and dedication and emotion that shows in those kids when they're playing, it's some of the best hockey to watch. Whether it's the best skill to watch, it's a certain level, but the emotion you can't. It's hard to match.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's a unique tournament because all the teams go 4 rounds in their respective leagues to win. And then you got to go to the Memorial Cup, and now it's back to single elimination. Like, it's very different. It's unique. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just unique.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's one of those where, like you said, like you go through your entire playoff run. Well, I remember going and watching the year before I went into the Western League. Vancouver was hosting the Mem Cup, and they lost to Medhat in the finals of the WHL. Another unbelievable team, and yet no one remembers Medhat because Vancouver ended up winning the Mem Cup, right? Like it's such a different thing, but it's so exciting at the same time.
Yeah, it is very exciting. Landon Ferraro joins us. If you're the Oilers, do you just play the waiting game here with Bruce Cassidy? If you're that high in them, and Vegas hinted, doesn't mean it's real, but they kind of hint, oh well, we're in the playoffs, so you could argue that say, okay, when the playoffs are over, they'll grant permission. I'm not saying that's going to be the case, but they kind of hinted that would be the case. So if you're Edmonton and you really need him, would you even wait if it meant that you didn't have your coach in place by the draft? Would you still wait for Cassidy, or would you look at other options?
I mean, I would be looking at other options, and if someone comes along and you get out of that meeting and you're like, you know what, like this seems right, then I have no problem you making a move. But if no one comes in and blows your doors off, then I have no problem with you waiting. I think that some decisions that have been made in the past here in the short past here have felt like rushed decisions, and they're now trying to figure those out again. To me, Vancouver's just reset everything here and all of that. And for the past few years, like a lot of moves felt rushed, and it really pushed the organization in one direction. I feel like the Oilers have already made one kind of more rushed decision than they were expecting, having to deal with firing Knobloch the way that they did. To me, they need to make sure that they wait and don't just try and rush to put someone in there to say that they've got that box checked off.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Like it is like, yeah, I was looking like hiring time. Lots of teams hire their coach in June, and some of you even hired in July. So it's not, it's not a crazy thing to have to wait.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, like how much is the coach really impacting the draft, right? Like they're not watching those players or anything like that. And for the most part, like it's not like you're going in there saying we're looking for this one person. Like you're going in there and picking the best player available, and that player is generally going to be 4 years away from even mattering for the head coach to have in his lineup.
Yeah. Landon Ferraro joined us. One last one for you, Landon. As you look at the Oilers and and they're off season. I think most people agree, hey, try to get Murphy back. There's been lots of talk about, maybe they're going to trade Darnell Nurse. And hey, I have no doubt. I have no concerns if they trade Darnell Nurse. There's some areas of his game that are frustrating for sure. But you can't have a Darnell Nurse trade become the Stuart Skinner trade.
No, you can't at all. Like it needs to be either, just throwing it out because it's already been there, but like a Riley type that also is looking for a bit of a fresh start. But at the very least, like it has to be someone that can play minutes and can play meaningful minutes, because if you lose Nurse, and yeah, he has his flaws, but he does give a lot of solid minutes as well. And if you bring someone else in and they can't handle that, it's not like there's a ton of depth on the defensive end right now as it stands that you're comfortable just letting some other guys grab more minutes right now.
Yeah, no, that's the truth, right? Like if you're trading Nurse, you have to trade him for a player that you feel and don't overpay. Like they grossly overpaid for Jari. When you look at the history of goalie trades, they grossly overpaid for him. So don't acquire a defenseman and add a Nurse and then and another good forward and a draft pick just to do it. That makes no sense. So that's to me. I know everybody's like, trade Darnell Nurse. I have no problem if you trade him, but you can't have a losing trade. It doesn't help you, right? It doesn't help you at all. So that to me, like,
no, and it's one of those things too. Like, okay, so say you got someone to trade for them, and they're, you don't even have to retain any salary, but you're basically just giving him up and getting nothing in return, right? Even if it's a situation like that, okay, you have all that extra money on your books to go get more defensemen. Who's out there? What are you replacing them with? Who's making a trade or a free agent signing that is going to come in and be able to really play those minutes and not have to really overpay to get it done? Like there's a lot that goes into it other than just, I want to see that guy gone. It's not easy to just go find defensemen that can play 20 minutes.
No, not at all. Not at all. Landon, great stuff, buddy. Have yourself a good weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, sounds good. You too.
There you go. It's Landon Ferraro from pre- and post-game show here on Sports 1440, as well as Sportsnet in Vancouver. We'll come back. We got 5 questions, and we got spec. We are going to we got a lot of text. We'll revisit it a little bit of what we talked about off the top of the show and more. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Experience the home ice advantage with your window coverings. Novo Blinds provides factory direct pricing and fast turnaround on rollers, zebra, blackout, drapery, and motorized blinds. Book a free in-home consultation at novoblinds.ca.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Cantork has always been a forward-thinking company, but now that we've turned 25, I can't help but take a minute to take a look back. Thank you to everyone that's been with us along the way.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. for sales, service, parts, rental, and finance. When you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Japa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
Hear that? That's your entry calling. Go Auto is sending you to the biggest football event in the world, live in Vancouver, with tickets, flights, and a hotel stay for two. To enter the contest, just text GAME to 780-777-7777. That's GAME to 780 all sevens. Go Auto, get in the game.
Our new Mick Cafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more, like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream, all swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Get ready for a night of rock with the Gene Simmons Band. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. The Gene Simmons Band, performing your favorite classic hits. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. Tickets on sale now at silenticecenter.com. Don't miss the Gene Simmons Band.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Whether you're refinancing or buying your first home, mortgages are easier with help from a neighbor. At Vision Credit Union, you get face-to-face guidance from local lenders who know the market because, well, they live here too. They'll look at your whole financial picture with practical advice for payments, renewals, refinancing, and what makes sense long-term. Get a more neighborly mortgage. Contact your branch today or visit visioncu.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Mortgages to Go. Need cash and have equity in your home? Mortgages to Go has you covered. When the bank says no, they say yes, and they've been doing it in Alberta for over 23 years. Call 1-888-888-5998 or visit mortgagestogo.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. Gregor Show, Sports 1440. Another busy night in the world of sports. Game 4 of the Yankees Blue Jays. Blue Jays trying to get a split. It's a bullpen start for both teams tonight. So we'll see. Maybe see some runs. Yesterday, a great pitching duel between two young guys, Savage and Schlittler. That was a hell of a pitching match. Jays came up on top 2-1 after losing 6-5 in the first two games of the series. So we'll see what happens there. Of course, we have the Knicks after their unbelievable comeback against the Cavs, trying to get up 2-0. And Carolina, after the longest wait in NHL history between series, they will be back in action tonight against the Montreal Canadiens. Should be fun. Let's get to 5 questions now. Brought to you by The Brick. It's your last day, your last chance in the 10 sale. Massive deal, 70% off some clearance items. You can save up to $1,500 off sofas, 20% off of coffee tables, and much, much more. Check it out at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, question number 1. Who do you think is the advantage in Game 1, the rested Hurricanes or the battle-tested Canadiens?
Oh, I'll take the rest all day long. We saw Carolina the first time after some rest. It did not impact them at all. So I will say Carolina.
I'm going to go, it's going to be Canadians in the first period. But once the Hurricanes kind of, battle that, try to handle the storm, I think then the fatigue for the Montreal Canadiens could set up, and the Carolina Hurricanes are going to be ready to go. So first period, slight advantage to the Canadians, but from then on out, I'm taking the Hurricanes. Question number 2 for you. On a scale of 1 to 10, what's the concern level for the Avs after falling in game 1?
Go ahead.
Probably like a 3. It's not that low. I think that you're hoping you get Cale Makar back, and when he is back, he's going to have a target on his shoulder. We know that's going to happen, but it's one game. The Colorado Avalanche, I think, have been through this too many times with that core. I think they'll be ready for it and have a better performance, similar to what we saw from OKC last night.
I like your number 3. I might say a 4 simply because it's a playoffs, and you need to win 4 games, and they're now down 1, so they got to win 4 of 6. Not impossible, but obviously a lot harder to win 4 out of 7. So, they've just one less chance, one less mistake. So I'd say it's 4 for the Avs because we don't know yet if Cale Makar is going to play in game 2.
That's it. Question number 3 for you. Norway took Canada to the limit today at the World Championships. Canada got the win. Scheifele in overtime was third of the game. Beautiful pass from Evan Bouchard. Looking at it, do you think the Canadians will win gold at this event?
It's too hard to say, man. Like you look, what the Swiss are dominating, right? They're 5-0 right now. They look really good. Finns, yes, I'll pull you, Yarvi. No, I'm not saying that can be great, but Canada, I don't know, man. When was the last time they won gold at the World Championships? I don't even know. So I'd probably take the field in this one if I had to.
Yeah, you're probably not too crazy to do so. I also wonder if it means more, to some of these other countries that really want it for the Canadians, and maybe you're just like, got some fun, play some extra hockey. I'm too biased to say no. I think come on, Crosby's there, Bouchard, Celebrini. I got to go with the Canadians that they'll find a way to gut it out and get the job done. Question number 4 for you. The Elks in BC on Saturday, first preseason game of the season. Which position group would you say you have your eye on the most?
Receiver. I think that's where there's some openings. I'm not sure how big the openings are, to be completely honest. I think Max, obviously a guy who secured his spot on the team. You look at the receiving core, Joe Robustelli has looked very good. Justin McGrath intrigues me a little bit, and McGriff he's tall and lanky, very smooth. Kind of curious to see what he does. What about Zach Mathis? Kalen Julian Grant. I don't know if he'll play this weekend, but I'm going to go with the receiving core. I just kind of want to see how they look. And they're going to get a little bit of time, not much, with the number 1 unit.
What, 14 guys left at the position? So, yeah, a tough spot there. Maybe a cop-out answer, but I'm going to go quarterbacks. I mean, I haven't really heard the best reviews from camp so far from the guys down there. That being said, it's camp. I want to see what they do when the bullets are flying and you're out there for a real game, even if it is preseason. So Fajardo, Taylor Powell, I want to see what the quarterbacks can do out there in their first action. Final question for you today. On this day in 1908, the first American horror movie silent film was released, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Give me one horror movie you're always down to watch and one you refuse to put on.
One horror. I always say The Ring. That's the one I would watch. One I refuse to ever put on. Ooh, that's a good question. Well, probably just because it sucks, right? Like there's never been a horror movie that scared me so bad that I was like, oh my God, I can't watch it again. Right. But like I thought The Room was one of the worst horror movies I'd ever seen. Like it was awful. And really right now, I don't think you could pay me to watch any of the Friday the 13th movies anymore. Like I watched them as a kid. I watched them later and I realized just how terrible they were. So that'd probably be any of those ones, like Jason and any of them, like they were awful.
That's like one of the ones I can always watch. Like Halloween. That to me, that's just timeless. I'll throw that on anytime.
Yeah, you're not scary.
Not scary,
really
no,
scary,
of course. The Strangers for me is a good one. A Sinister as well. The one I'll never put on, and it's just the Nun. I don't know why. I've tried. Something about it. It's just eerie to me. The special effects, how they make her look, just terrifies me. So The Nun is one that I've tried to sit down and watch a couple times. I get into it and I just tap out. So that would be the one for me.
All right. That is fair. I understand it. We'll take a break. We come back. We got Speck and Yaremchuk. We got some stats of the day for you and more on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca as we get to Connor Halley, Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC, where the wait is over. 0% financing on all heavy-duty trucks. And, of course, I got 0% finance on all the half tons. If you're looking for a deal, you need a truck, now's the place. Stop in NorthgateGM.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Eastern Conference Final that's going tonight in the NHL. Hurricanes and Canadians from North Carolina. Puck drop just after 6 o'clock in that one at the IIHF World Championship today. Canada victorious over Norway 6-5 in overtime. Next up for the Canadians will be Slovenia tomorrow. In the association, you've got Game 2, Knicks and Cavs from New York. Knicks currently leading 1-0. Tip-off 6 o'clock. And in the majors, Toronto Blue Jays just about it going up against the Yankees in New York. First pitch, 5:05. I'll join that game in progress here on Sports 1440 on our AM feed. Following the Jason Gregor Show. One game going on right now. Braves lead the Marlins 2-0. Heading into the second. Later tonight, Diamondbacks and Rockies. Athletics take on the Angels. Earlier today, it was the Tigers falling to the Guardians 3-1. Pirates over the Cards 6-2, and the Mets get past the Nationals by a score of 2-1. WNBA tonight, the Tempo head to Minnesota, taking on the Lynx, tip off 6 o'clock. In sad news to pass along is NASCAR driver, two-time Cup champion Kyle Busch passing away earlier today at the age of 41. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free Radio Player app and listen wherever you go.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
What's that? Is that actually spring? Like no snow squalls or bad weather tomorrow? It's actually spring? Well, GS Construction welcomes the warmer weather because that means we can really get to work. Now, it doesn't matter if there was bad weather. This is our time to shine. But we can't do it without good people to do that work. That's why GS Construction is hiring pipe layers, topmen, and heavy equipment operators. If you want to join a team who loves their work, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
It's the final weekend of the Bricks Famous Tent Sale. Take up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and in store. And unadvertised in-store specials in every department. Plus, buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off select major appliances. And score a bonus Bluetooth party speaker with a qualifying purchase. You could get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and a dining set. All of this for less than $1,500. Only at the Bricks Tent Sale. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
When thirst strikes and your energy begins to fade, one hero rises above the rest. Introducing the Superpower Smoothie from Booster Juice. A bright sun-charged burst of mangoes, bananas, and blue spirulina. An out-of-this-world smoothie, just in time for the new Supergirl movie. Discover your power and channel your inner superhero. Fly into your local Booster Juice and experience it for yourself today. And see Supergirl. Only in theaters June 26th.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
It doesn't start on game day. It starts before kickoff, before the first snap. It starts with you locking in your season seats. This is Edmonton Elks football. The only
Instagram,
way to experience
Connor Halley
it is
Sports.
being there for every hit, catch, and touchdown. The Elks home opener kicks off June 20th against Montreal. Your season seats are your way in. Get yours now at goelks.com/season seats. Edmonton Elks. Our city, our year.
Sports 1440, another busy night in the world of sports. Game 4 of the Yankees Blue Jays.
Hybrid vehicles will save the day, helping you go further for less. Prefer a gas vehicle? Subaru, Crosstrek, and Impreza are built to keep costs low without sacrificing capability. Crosstrek was named 2025 Auto Trader Best Subcompact SUV, and Impreza has earned top safety pick recognition for 17 years running. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru. Visit Subaru.ca.
Your next great family adventure is just a raffle ticket away. Enter the Alberta Foster and Kinship Association's Great Family Adventure Raffle for your chance to win incredible prizes, including the first prize, a Sea-Doo pontoon cruise boat worth over $70,000. Every ticket sold helps provide vital resources to the everyday heroes raising children through some of life's hardest circumstances. Buy your tickets before the live draw on June 5th. Get yours at rafflebox.ca/raffle/the Great Family Adventure Raffle. License number 766115. Open to Alberta residents 18 plus only.
Portions of this hour brought to you by 01 Athletic Care. Injuries don't wait, and neither should you. 01 Athletic Care offers one-stop access to doctors, x-rays, and casting. It's expert musculoskeletal care covered by Alberta Health right here in West Edmonton Mall. Move from injury to recovery. Book now at 01.ca. That's ZERONE.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's after 5 o'clock. We roll through a lovely Thursday afternoon, man. Just put you in good spirit when you got a day like today out. It's awesome. You're probably thinking golf. Maybe, you're camping. I don't care what you're doing. Just going for a walk with the dog. Everything's better when it's nice out. Fantastic. So very, very good. Gregor Show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. And get in on a little fun. Of course, can always do the Gregor Show odds boost for you. Hurricanes back in action after a lengthy break. They are taking on the Montreal Canadiens. Tonight, the Canadiens say they take it to the limit. So far, every series, 7 games. Hurricanes take it to the minimum. Only 4 games. We'll see what breaks. Is one of them going to go less? Like, is all of a sudden, is Carolina going to win in 5, 6, 4, 7? Or do the Habs say, you know what? We don't need to go full 7. Let's get this done earlier. I know I like Carolina in this one, but that's why they play the games, boys and girls, because ultimately, we never know. Should be fun. Gregor Show odds boost. We like Carolina tonight after the lengthy break. Still like the Hurricanes. Let's get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction. They're underground infrastructure specialists. And man, things are booming at GS. Busy. They're good. If you want to work for a great company, great opportunities to advance your career, go to gsconstruction.ca. Look up careers. As Mark Spector from Roger Sportsnet joins us. Spec, did you use a wrench today again? Or are you feeling manly?
Yeah, feeling manly. Yeah, a couple little things. Actually, a big painting day out here today. So I'm basically working for I'm a contractor working for Shelka Painting Services here. Mm-hmm. So she says where to paint and I paint. And if she says I'm not doing a good job, I say, well, then you should try.
Yeah, that always works great. I like that. Wait. Are you critiquing my effort? Do you want to do it?
Yeah.
Usually that's the best way. Oh, all of a sudden the critique becomes a little bit quieter.
Yeah, that's right. Anyhow, it's a little bit of springtime shoring things up. How about you, man? What's going on? I saw Bouchard with a nifty pass to Scheifele on the winner in that. Who are they playing? Norway?
Norway, yeah. The Norwegians took them to overtime today.
Hit the Norgies. Good for them.
Yeah, and they get a point. Scheifele did have the hat trick in that game for Canada. It's like, I don't know what to read from it. I did see a few times in front of the net Darnell Nurse not picking up his man. Not like someone asked me the question today. Hey, maybe a new coach can help him, and I'm like, man, I don't know. You're in the league this long. There's certain decisions you make. I'm not sure it's a coaching problem.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, at this point, you pretty much are who you're going to be, and who we are. It's true about old dogs and new tricks. Although I think one quote that still sticks with me from Connor McDavid's exit interview with the media was how even the veteran players and the older players have to develop. I wish I could have asked him to expound on that. Like, exactly what does he mean? Develop how? What? I'd like to dig in on that a little bit because I thought it was an interesting statement.
Yeah, well, there's always little areas of your game. Hey, maybe it's as simple as we got to take the regular season, more seriously. Start there. So there's lots of different things I think you can look at. You're never can't teach old dogs new tricks, but you can always enhance his skill set. And I think there are guys that need to improve as a group. They need to be better at managing the puck and making, I think, better split-second decisions, which is difficult to do.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you can't work on making better split-second decisions. That's why you like a veteran over a rookie, because the veterans made so many of them, they get good at it over time. So now we go back to, if you've been in the league 10 years and you're still making bad split-second decisions, I'm not sure we're changing that at this point. So listen, as a team, it's general practice. And I know that when the season starts, like I would say this to you, Jay, the culture around this team's always been, McDavid and Draisaitl, they just pile up so many points. They help you in so many ways. They're such great players that we overlook a lot of the times when they make, a play that if someone else made it, we say, oh, you can't make that play. Oh, you got to get that puck deep. Oh, you can't take on four guys at the offensive blue line and have the puck go the other way. Oh, you can't saucer a backhand pass across the top of the zone that gets picked off. If Matthias Janmark made that pass, we'd be all over him. But when Draisaitl makes it, we go, well, he's earned that mistake because he's such a great player. And I guess I'd say to you that after this many years of it, it's time to maybe take a little harder look at that play. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, I do. I think there's times where, hey, you know what? If you make it every now and then, if you make it in a 4-1 game, no problem. It's when it's a 1-1 game or a 0-0 game. Like, the timing means everything, right? Like, timing of the game, like, you can take certain chances. Like, when you're trailing in a game, you're going to have to try some things, right? And then also, do you try it from deep in the corner where if it doesn't work, you got 3 or 4 guys behind you, right? Like, there's lots of different plays. It's not just the play, it's the timing of the play, the situation of the play, where are your teammates. There's lots of different things that take into it, right? And the smart guys know, like, the elite players look around, they know, like, those guys, it looks like they got eyes in the back of their head. They know where everybody is. And you can calculate if it's worth taking the risk. Because sometimes it is, especially when you're somebody who's able to complete it, where lots of guys like you and I could try that play 100 times. They never complete it, right? Like, there's certain guys who can try the play and they got a much higher chance of completing it.
Yeah, they do. But I guess I just, and it really comes down to look at McDavid. He wins the Art Rossi's plus 15, right? McKinnon's plus 54. So I get it. There's more to plus minus than what you just see on the stat site, but that's a pretty big disparity right there, man. That's 40 goals. So I would say that, if you're a guy that wins the Art Ross and is only plus 15 and his 5-on-5, goal share is not overwhelming on his side, and as an Art Ross winner, you think it should be, I think it's fair to say, listen, all I know is this, okay? They won a lot of trophies around here, and it hasn't helped them win the big trophy. So I think we've reached the point of the whole window here, the whole competitive window, where you can't just keep doing the same thing. There's not many years left in this window, and we all know what it means, or what we call it when you do the same thing over and over and continue not to succeed, right? It doesn't work. So I suspect the organization, I suspect the leadership group, I suspect the players and the coaches and everybody is going to take a little bit of a fresh look at things this year and say, what can we do different to get a different outcome? And I think from the media standpoint, the fan standpoint, we should do the same thing.
Mark Spector joins us. Spec, the Vegas Golden Knights. Anybody who's waiting on Bruce Cassidy last night, the wait might get longer as they win the game. Colorado didn't play poorly at all. They actually dominated lots of the games, but they weren't able to score. Vegas got a 3-0 lead, and then Nathan McKinnon had an unbelievable play on that second goal. Oh my goodness, that was awesome to watch. But I look at Vegas, they gained some confidence. I don't think Colorado's going to be rattled by any stretch of imagination. But do you think last night's outcome, does it rush Cale Makar back quicker, or do they just say, hey, sorry, you can't play until we know you can stay in the lineup? What do you think?
I would say that, I don't know. I trust the doctors and the medics a lot more today than I did even 10 years ago. I feel like they don't put players at risk the way we once did. I don't trust players. Players will be at risk. Like Cale Makar will play with one arm, and Evan Bouchard or whoever will say, oh no, I'm fine. Let me out there, when you know what, maybe you weren't fine, but that's what players do. So my point is this: never trust the player, because they always want to play, right? I do feel like if he's got a serious enough injury that the doctors will not be swayed by the coaches and say, get this guy in there, we need to win. If he's not healthy, he won't play. But that's all I got for you. I don't know the severity of the injury, either do you. They're going to need him here. Like, they're not the same team without Cale Makar, man. And you go down 2-0-2 at home, that's not a good thing. So, I don't have an answer for you, but the coaches want him back. I question whether the doctors want him back yet.
Yeah, that's totally fair. You look at like Spec, I was pretty, and I'm not going to back down from it at all. I thought it was pretty naive and misguided to even mention that Mike Babcock should even be a consideration for the Edmonton Oilers coaching job. He got his second chance in Columbus and couldn't even last the summer, for God's sakes, because the guy he can't control his willingness to want to show all the players that he's got the power. And I wrote the article that outlined the Mike Modano, the Mitch Marner, the Johan Franzen, the Mike Commodore. And those are just the stories that we know are public. Never mind any of the other ones. Like, hey, I get that you want to look under every nook and cranny and rock, but I'm telling you, even mentioning Mike Babcock's name, I think, is pretty naive and misguided.
Yeah, I think the hockey world has passed Mike Babcock and guys who use those, I'm going to put up my air quotes here, motivational tactics like that. I think hockey's passed them by. I don't think we do those things anymore in the game. I don't think we want to do those things anymore in the game. I think he got a second chance or whatever chance to go to Columbus, and through the course of the summer, the old Mike Babcock came out, and he you've outlined what happened, and it's not acceptable. So no, I don't. I certainly, if I'm running a team, I'm not into third chances. If you can't figure it out the first time, I don't think you're not going to figure it out a second and third time on my dime. So yeah, I don't. I think it let the record show it wasn't the Edmonton Oilers talking to Babcock, right? It's who threw it out there? Was it? I didn't even see. Was it Staples?
No.
Who?
No, I think it was. I think my understanding, reading the articles, was on Oilers Now on Stoff Show.
On Stoffer's show.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't paid close enough attention. So anyway, I'm with you on this one. Babcock, if I'm a GM, Babcock's not coaching my team. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Like, it just, there's no reason. I think it's just really disappointing for anybody to even bring it up. Like, I'm sorry, look at his past. Just because he won a cup in 2008 doesn't erase anything. Most of these other things happened after that. So, and he had a second chance. If you're a believer in second chances, he had a second chance in Columbus, and he couldn't even get out of the summer, right? Couldn't get out of his own way. No one else's fault but his own. So we'll see. Lastly, Spec, the the Darnell Nurse, well, we talked about a little bit about Darnell Nurse and, trading Darnell Nurse. And to me, any player's tradable. If you can trade Wayne Gretzky, you can trade anybody. Yep. But the Edmonton Oilers were in a rush. I thought they panicked when they traded Stuart Skinner because they really overpaid for Tristan Jarry. So if you're going to trade Darnell Nurse, that's fine. But it has to be a competent trade. You don't have to win the trade. You just can't lose the trade. If it's just an even trade, hey, we get a player, you get a player, think it works out for great. That happens. Some trades can not necessarily be a win. It's just a trade that works out for both teams. That's what they need here. Or sure, you'd love them to win the trade. Everybody wants oh man, you schooled the other team. That's great. But they can't panic here and make another Stuart Skinner, Tristan Jarry type trade that throws in Brett Kulak and into second round draft pick because that trade's been awful.
Yeah, the issue with trying to trade Darnell Nurse and thinking you're going to, get a fair trade is obviously the salary cap issue therein, right? The reason you're trading Darnell Nurse really is the fact he makes 9.25. If he was making 5.5, I don't think we'd be having this conversation. I really don't. You might say, let's keep him and put him in a lesser position and bring in another guy. Sure. But the reason you're trading him is because of his salary. So inherently you're not going to get back, someone's taking that salary for you. What do you think you're getting back, Jay? You're not going to get another guy that can play 22 minutes and be awesome defensively and be great, but only makes $5 million. Like if I got that guy and you're trying to trade me Nurse for him, I'm like, forget it. I want the $5 million version, not the 9.25. So I hear you. This team can't afford to make any more Jarry deals. It was brutal, but it has to be in concert with the ability to, let's say you make the Darnell Nurse trade and whatever you get back, but it frees up enough salary cap that you go in the free agent market and you land a guy that then there's your 22-minute guy. Then I can put those moves together and say, hey, good job, Stan Bowman. But if you're telling me I got to get back a 22-minute guy for Darnell Nurse, I'm not sure that makes a lot less than 9.25. How do you think that's going to happen?
Yeah, well, that's a lot of people are pointing to Riley for Nurse. Straight up contracts are at the same time. It's a little bit more expensive. Guys change the scenery. I get the theory of it. I'm not necessarily certain of it. I just look at the thing about Darnell Nurse is, to me, it's not even about the money. It just comes down to, does he have the ability to make better decisions on the ice? Because I'm not sure contract's going to change that.
Yeah, well, the contract's not going to change. He's making 9.25 no matter what for the next, 4 years after this one or 3? Can't remember which, but either way.
4 years left.
4 years left. And so does Riley, right? And Riley's 8.75 or 8.5?
No, Riley is 7.75.
7.75, excuse me. Okay. So, I get it. You can make that trade. They're different defensemen. They both have lots of term left. They're both roughly making the same thing. They're both the same age. Does that defenseman fit Edmonton better? I'm not sure. Riley's a tough guy to judge, Jay, for me, because he's really been Toronto's number one defenseman his whole life there. And, if you and me sit down with a napkin and a pen and list all the number one defensemen in the league, he's not one of them. He's not a legit number one, right? He's not Hedman. He's not McCarr. He's not Quinn Hughes. He's not Schaefer. He's not Dahlin or whoever. He's not Bouchard. So really, he's a good 3, and that's what Nurse is a 3. So you're really trading a 3 for a 3. Both guys could use a change. I don't know. What do you think? You think it'd be a good deal for the Oil?
Well, that deal, I'm like, okay, you know what? At least I'm getting a legit top 4 NHL defenseman in return. All right. I think they have different strengths and weaknesses. Right? Nurse a better skater. Nurse is bigger, more physical. I think Riley's a smarter player. So there'll be at times where, because Nurse makes some plays that not a lot of guys can make because of his speed. There's no question on that. He makes some really good plays, but then
he's a fantastic skater. He's a fantastic skater.
Right. There's just at times his position, for a big guy, he doesn't make the front of the net as uncomfortable as he should. Guys are there, and sometimes he'll cross check a guy in the back, and his stick's wide open. He deflects it home. I'm like that was a pointless cross check. You're not doing anything with that. So, That would be a trade that sure I would make it because you save a little salary cap at the same time, and I don't think you're getting a grossly less player. I don't think you're getting a grossly better player. I think they have different warts and different skills that are positive and negative. So, I would do it. Would Nurse accept a trade to Toronto? I have no idea. Right? I've never asked him. And not that I think I'd ever get an honest answer from the player. Anyway, hey, would you want to get traded here? Like, it's not a question.
Yeah, that's not a question you ask a player, frankly.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think could both guys use a change of scenery? Probably.
I would think so. Yeah. I mean, people have to know that, Nurse is a really big part of the whole Oilers thing and, leadership group, part of everything is he's got little kids. All the families are growing up around each other. They, you see like all the off ice things, all the moments, all the, he's been in the middle of it all. I'm not saying to change this, taking a guy right out of the very core of this thing and making a move and shaking things up. That might be good for this team. It might be a good idea, but I know Connor McDavid very much values Darnell Nurse on his team and as a teammate and a friend. Mm-hmm. And that's okay too. We're not here to make friends. We're here to win cups. But there's a lot. If you take Darnell Nurse and move him out of town, it's not just the guy you and I watch from the press box and the fans watch on TV and from the seats. You're taking out a molar out of the, of the mouth of that dressing room, man. It's not small. That's for sure.
No. He is very respected by his teammates. Plays hard, all those things. He's an emotional guy in the team. I get all that. He stands up and speaks more than I think people think he does, and there's no denying that. I'm only evaluating the on ice decision making and the plays that have there hasn't been a real improvement in that one area of his game. And so because it hasn't been there, I look and say, will it ever be there? I think that's a fair question, right? Like, hey, and doesn't mean that he can't, he's not a terrible NHL defenseman. Like I said, there's lots of nights where Darnell Nurse will do some things really well and he doesn't get credit for it. So I get that. But his positioning at times and his decision-making, I'm just like, I'm not sold that you could, sometimes that's who you are as a player. You have good parts of your game and you have bad parts of your game. And he's got good parts of his game, but he also has some parts of his game that are challenging. Now, so that's why you can't just trade him only thinking about the bad parts of his game, because that's unfair. And you have to look at, okay, well, what are we going to give up if we trade Darnell Nurse?
Yeah. What are we going to be missing next year when we start playing hockey? What are we going to be missing? But, I would say to you that by now, Darnell Nurse should be a number 2. He should be playing with Bouchard. He should be the Seabrook to the Duncan Keith here. And he's not. He's not. And I don't think he'll ever be. And that's he certainly has all the tools to be that guy, right? He can skate. Like, he could play every minute with Bouchard. He can skate with Bouchard, no problem. All those things, but it's between the ears that he hasn't been able to be that guy. And as Ekholm ages, you'd really love for Darnell Nurse to step into that spot and take those minutes, man. But I don't think that's going to happen. In fact, I'm quite sure it's not going to happen. It probably should have happened by now, to be honest. So that's a sign of a guy who's topped out in an organization. And in that respect, he probably could use a change of scenery. Not many guys play their whole life on one team. He's had a long, long run here, and, we'll see what happens. I like the guy, and there's a ton of things I like about the player. But you got to break a few eggs to make an omelet here, and this omelet's, coming to an end. Like, the window on this omelet's coming to an end. So sure.
Spec, have yourself a good one. We'll chat with you tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good, Jay.
There, that's Mark Specker. The Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. Quick break. Yaremchuk joins us next. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you. Call Legacy. For comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. And yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
Hi, I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. We've been tightening bolts and redefining our industry for 25 years. Yes, a quarter century, and we're just getting started. Check us out at cantork.com. Our tools age better than I do.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new Mick Cafe refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
I've got some good news if you've been thinking about a heavy-duty truck. The 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express is now at St. Albert Dodge. You've got 20-inch black aluminum wheels, black Mopar side steps, body color, bumpers and grille, and a sport performance hood. Available in all the colors for $68,990. Plus, new this year, Ram's best-in-class 10-year powertrain warranty. Now's the time. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical Team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
New at Papa John's, the spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Say it with me now. Spinach Alfredo sauce, grilled chicken, fresh Roma tomatoes, all on our fresh, never frozen pizza dough. 4 favorites, 1 pizza. So let's run it back. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Right now, a large for just $18.99. Delivery or carry-out. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
To the guy who said, I'll marinate the chicken, then forgot. Hi, your Safeway PA announcer here. We've got you covered with a variety of freshly prepared kebabs, ranging from chicken to beef and pork. They even come pre-marinated, so all that's left is pretending you made it yourself. And they're on sale this week. For more great summer deals, check our flyer at safeway.ca. Variety may vary by store. See flyer for details.
That's the way.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the Gregor Special. Enjoy 20% off any regular menu price order. Enter promo code Gregor at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.530, welcome back. Oh, the Jays with an early run. Who knows? Now it is, of course, the bullpen start game for both the Yankees and the Blue Jays. So we'll see if the Jays can get some offense going. Now they did score 5 runs in the first 2 games they lost, so it wasn't bad. But you're still kind of waiting for Vladdy Guerrero. He doesn't look like a threat every game yet. definitely not every at bat, not even every game. So we'll see if that can pick up. Also, if you missed it, you're a racing fan. Kyle Busch passed away today. His family put out a statement that said, quote, Kyle has experienced a severe illness resulting in hospitalization, undergoing treatment, and will not compete in any of his scheduled activities this weekend. They put that out. And then unfortunately later on, they mentioned that he passed away. So that's obviously very sad news in the racing world. Young man, 41 years of age, leaves behind a wife and some 2 children, a boy and a girl. So that's not good news on the racing front today. Now let's get to the oil report brought to you by Go Auto. Looking for a car, looking for a truck, red, black, blue, green, whatever color, whatever make and model. They have over 15,000 vehicles at 73 different locations for you to choose from. GoAuto.ca. As Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilersnation Daily Faceoff joins us. Ty, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm also enjoying that 1-0 lead for the Blue Jays, so all is well.
How desperate do you think the Oilers need to be in their coaching search?
It's an interesting question. Should they be so desperate? And I've listened to a good chunk of your show. Should they be so desperate that they interview Mike Babcock? No, there is no level of desperation that they should reach that involves Mike Babcock. But I think it just depends on what happens with Bruce Cassidy. Like, if you get word that Vegas is like absolutely not going to let you talk to him at any point, and they're saying, nope, we're going to pay him $4.5 million to sit at home next year. That's too bad, Edmonton. Then I think the list of really good candidates is honestly quite short. So at that point, yeah, I would probably get a little desperate. Like, I've been someone who's kind of said it's Cassidy. I think I like Peter Laviolette. And if we're doing the whole it has to be a cup winner thing, then I don't know how many other names out there I like. I'm not a big Craig Berube fan. Someone pitched me on Dan Bilesma the other day. I'm not a Dan Bilesma guy. So if there is no Bruce Cassidy and you get definitive word that he's out and he is not going to be an option to you, then I do think the word desperate should start to pop up.
Yeah, agreed. Like, it's nice. The cup thing's nice, but I think if that's your sole purpose, then you're reducing a lot of very competent coaches, because lots of coaches haven't won the Stanley Cup who are very good. And no coach other than Scotty Bowman has won the cup and then won it with a second team since 1955. So it's I think if your main attribute is it has to have Stanley Cup winner, I think that's the bad way to approach it.
Yep, I agree. I just think with the stakes here, and again, maybe it could be someone who just hasn't won a Stanley Cup, who's been to the dance a couple of times, because I even look at the, that fact that only Bowman's done it. But, Bruce Cassidy's a guy who lost in 7 games with the Boston Bruins before he went and won one with the Vegas Golden Knights. Like, and I'm not saying this is what you're saying, but when people kind of throw that out, I'm like, so what are you telling me? That Bruce Cassidy winning or losing that Game 7 in Boston ultimately determined if he could or couldn't go on to win a cup with Vegas? But to that point, like, could you find someone who's been on a few deep runs who you think you can trust with this really veteran group? Because I do think you need someone whose voice is going to resonate with some of these guys in the Oilers locker room who've been on a couple of long, grueling runs.
We're talking about Darnell Nurse, and his name has been discussed a lot about maybe being traded. Obviously, you'd have to accept it, number one. And I think if you want to talk about a trade, Darnell Nurse, it has to be calm. It has to be rational. It can't be like, I don't like this, so you trade him for nothing. I don't care. It's not going to work. Because I think ultimately that's what the organization did a little bit here with the Stuart Skinner trade. Wow, we got to get rid of Stuart Skinner. Okay, you know what? Well, we're willing to overpay to get Tristan Jarry, because that's what they did. Make no mistake. They overpaid for it. And now Tristan Jarry could come back next year and play very well. We'll see. But if you trade Darnell Nurse, so there's a few things you have to consider. He doesn't get hurt. The guy plays, he's available. The best ability is dependability. So he's there. So if you're bringing in another defenseman, you better bring in one who's going to play most of the games. He plays you 20 minutes a night. It's not a perfect 20 minutes, but there's good things about his game, right? Great speed. He's physical when you want to be. He can break up the play. He's one of the best defensemen at recovering. There's things you like about his game for sure. Now there's areas you don't like, and that's valid. So that's where you look at it. But right now, when I hear talk about Darnell Nurse trade, it seems to be in a lot of cases just like, well, let's just get rid of Darnell Nurse and it's easy to replace him. And I'm like, that's what you said about Stuart Skinner.
Yeah, it's 20, 22 minutes a game for 76 to 82 games a season. Like, that is not an easy thing to do. And it's not an easy thing to do and, be consistently good in those minutes. It's something where, even the Oilers fans who would get on Evan Bouchard throughout the regular season, and then it got to the Olympics, and all of a sudden, now that those fans are closely paying attention to some other guys who are viewed as these defensive gems and excellent defenders, like during the Olympics, it was like, oh, Parayko makes mistakes. Oh, Sanheim makes mistakes. Oh, Thomas Harley didn't look great. He was coughing up pucks. And it's like, oh, so you're telling me every defenseman will make mistakes. And that's the same thing with Nurse. Like, I don't buy for a second this idea that he's a replacement level defenseman. If he was on the open market this year, would get somewhere between $4 and $5.5, $6 million a season based on, the offense and the fact that, like you laid out, eats minutes and plays a ton and can stay healthy. So he's not a nothing defenseman. You don't just immediately improve because you no longer have Darnell Nurse on your roster. And that's not to say that they shouldn't be really trying to get this contract off the books, because that's what it comes down to. Like, I do not hate the player of Darnell Nurse. I think you can win with a Darnell Nurse on your blue line. I just think it gets really tough to construct a winner when you have Bouchard north of 10 and McDavid and Draisaitl north of 10. And then Darnell Nurse at 9.25 really being nothing more than a second pairing D-man for you. The problem is the cap hit. And where I'm curious about that is I don't think this is a scenario where you have to attach a first and a prospect and get rid of the whole thing. What's the number where another team looks at him and says, okay, we think he can help us win and we can build a winner with him at that number? Is it 7? Does another team say, hey, we'll give you a mid-round pick if you keep Darnell Nurse down to 7? And then if you're the Oilers, can you go replace him and what he's giving you in his role for $4 or $5 million in free agency? Like, that's the path to this becoming a win. But this trade's not a victory. Like, honestly, I don't even love the idea of just flipping him for Morgan Riley and saying, change of scenery for everybody. Like, I don't think you're necessarily that much better, even if you're only a touch cheaper. Like, I'm interested in getting out of the contract. I'm not interested in just dumping the player to the curb.
Yeah, I would agree wholeheartedly on that. I don't know how closely you're watching the World Championships, but Isaac Howard has scored some goals. I thought he had a really good rookie season as a pro hockey player. I got some NHL time, which is great to kind of just give you a taste of what it's going to be like. But for the most part, he was in the American League, averaged over a point a game in 47 games, averaged over half a goal a game. Really good numbers at the American League level for a rookie, and he's gone over there and he's played pretty well. Where do you come out on Howard and his potential impact on the team next year?
Yeah, I know a lot of people right now, because Sam O'Reilly won some junior awards, are doing the whole, Tampa Bay knew what they were doing and fleeced the Oilers. And it's you know what? That's great that Sam O'Reilly had the year he had, and I'm sure he's going to be a good NHL player. There's a difference between Ike Howard stepping in and doing what he did last year against men. And you talk to people down in Bakersfield, and I'm not someone who sits here and pretends to watch 50 Bakersfield Condors games a year, but I talk to people who do, and they say, like, hey, he took meaningful strides in the defensive side of his game. If he can follow a similar arc to a Matt Savoy, and, who's to say next year he can't play 70 plus games for you. And if he scores you 15 or 16 goals, like, can he give you Jack Roslovic-ish production on your third line? Even if he's not playing with the big dogs. If he does slide up and play with the big dogs and there's a higher ceiling, then that's gravy. But I really like his chances of being an everyday player next year. But there's another part of it, and I just did part 5 of my series looking at the big questions that'll define the Oilers offseason. If Edmonton wants to make a big splash, and, Kairu's name is out there, and who knows who else is going to pop up on the trade market, doesn't that like, if you're St. Louis and Edmonton calls and says, what's it going to take for Jordan Kyrou? That conversation starts with probably Matt Savoy or Ike Howard. And if I'm the Oilers, I know which one I'm putting in the conversation, right?
Yes. Yeah. Very true. Ty, what about the Jays, man? When do you get concerned about Vladdy?
When do I get concerned about Vladdy? I think almost similar to the way I would get concerned about the team. Today, I sat long and hard and thought about this one. They need to be above 500 by June 1st. And again, it's a long season, but look at last year. They were 8 games back of the division, and they found a way to storm back and win the thing. They made the playoffs by 7 games last year, I think, was their cushion from where they were to being out of the playoffs. And I think they're 4 wins behind where they were a year ago right now. So part of the good part here is that the American League is garbage. They're 2 games out of a playoff spot, and they're like 6 games under 500, but they need to get hot. Vladdy has to start hitting. George Springer looks like a shell of himself, and that's honestly more concerning than the Vladdy thing. A year ago, we had 30-plus home run George Springer looking like he was defying Father Time, And this year, his approach is gone. He's swinging at everything. Like, it's tough watching George Springer swing the bat right now. And if he's not swinging the bat as the DH, he's doing literally nothing to help you win. But I'm giving all these guys, because of how much baseball they played last year and the expectations, I'm giving them till June 1st. Need to see improvement, need to be back at 500 by June 1st, and I'll believe that the season's fine. If not, then I think you're maybe heading into an all-star break in Major League Baseball going, oh boy, is this just one of those years from hell where nothing goes your way?
We'll see. Ty, have a great one. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good. See ya.
It's Ty Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation and Daily. Face off. Final break. We'll come back. We got some stats of the day and more on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hear that? That's your entry calling. Go Auto is sending you to the biggest football event in the world, live in Vancouver, with tickets, flights, and a hotel stay for two. To enter the contest, just text GAME to 780-777-7777. That's GAME to 780 all sevens. Go Auto, get in the game.
A lot of you love hockey season. But when it comes to construction season, you're not as excited unless you work for GS Construction. It's true. As one season is winding down, ours is winding up with all sorts of great projects to make the city we live in better. And our team is hiring. GS Construction is scouting for pipe layers, topmen, and heavy equipment operators. So if you want to score a great job, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada. Properties include the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena, the Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility in Nisku, features 2 sheets of ice, a 1,600-seat arena, as well as Summit Restaurant. Learn more at silentice.com.
It's the final weekend of the Brick's famous tent sale. Take up to 70% off clearance items in the tent and in-store. Overstock, scratch, and dent, and unadvertised in-store specials in every department. Plus, buy more, save more. Up to $1,000 off select major appliances. And score a bonus Bluetooth party speaker with a qualifying purchase. You could get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and a dining set, all for less than $1,500. Only at the Brick's tent sale. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
When thirst strikes and your energy begins to fade, one hero rises above the rest. Introducing the Superpower Smoothie from Booster Juice. A bright sun-charged burst of mangoes, bananas, and blue spirulina. An out-of-this-world smoothie, just in time for the new Supergirl movie. Discover your power and channel your inner superhero. Fly into your local Booster Juice and experience it for yourself today. And see Supergirl. Only in theaters June 26th.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit japaequipment.com or stop our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
Debt can take over your life. The stress, the constant worry. It can feel like you're drowning. When people come to see me, they're often anxious and feeling hopeless. But when I explain how I can help them get out of debt, those feelings melt away. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I will create a personalized debt relief plan so you can move forward with confidence. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats?
while I drop the heat.
Ready when you are.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Princip payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Smart, connected, community driven. Jason Gregor sets the standard for sports talk in Edmonton. Join the conversation on Sports 1440. Text Gregor 833-401-1440. Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely, lovely Thursday. As of course, you have a lot of slated games in the MLB. NHL has one, NBA has one, and we're going to get to our stats of the day, brought to you by All Star Construction, founded in 2009. Sergey and Mark have grown it into the leader in their industry. Underground utilities and power, gas, telecommunications, street lighting, and more. Check it out. That is All Star Construction. And a few stats of the day as we get to the Carolina Hurricanes, who are 8-0. If the Hurricanes, now the modern day record since the NHL went to 4 rounds of for 4 series, 4 rounds of 7 games, excuse me. The fewest games played, drum roll please, I think you know, maybe you do, the Edmonton Oilers, 1988, when they went 16-2. Now, the Habs, as well as the 93 Habs, the 95 Devils, the 97 Red Wings, the 2022 Avalanche, and the 2012 Kings, they all needed 20 games. They went 16-4. So Carolina, now, no one's ever swept the entire playoffs, obviously. The Oilers, 4-0, 4-1, they had a few 4-1 series along the way there. So you look at Carolina, to tie Edmonton, they would need to go 8-2, basically win the next 2 series 4-1, 4-1. So possible, yes, but that's what they would need to do. Now, the other thing that's impressive about the Hurricanes so far has been the amount of goals they have given up. Only 10 goals against in their run to the Stanley Cup so far. That's it, 1.25. They got 2 shutouts. Their penalty kill is a ridiculous 95%, which is obviously pretty impressive. Now, if you look at the fewest goals allowed by a team who won the cup, right? Because obviously, there'd be some teams who maybe, hey, we only allowed so many goals and didn't make it to the Stanley Cup final. I'm talking teams who get to the Stanley Cup final. Fewest goals against goes to the LA Kings when they allowed 30 goals in their 20 games played, 1.5. The Devils, no surprise, they were a defensive-minded team in 2095. They were both at 1.7, and the Devils were at 1.71. So Colorado off to a great start, but Carolina, to continue, it's pretty difficult. There's you look at really even in the salary cap era, you had the LA Kings and the Red Wings are the 2 teams who and the Lightning, I guess, in 21 who are under 2 goals against. So it's happened, but it's not easy. Stats wise, you look at it, nobody should really be threatening, I think, to have a run at the most playoff points ever. Mitch Marner currently leads with 7 goals, 19 points. But what about Pavel Dorofeev? Could he push for the most goals? He's got 10 in 13 games. And by the way, and this hasn't been talked, I've seen it be creeping up a little bit, but if you look at players who, because the Vegas Golden Knights had the most salary, they have the highest salary in the NHL, right? They don't have a ton of cap space, even though the cap is going up next year to 104. Right now, they do have Alex Pietrangelo, and his 8.8 goes on LTIR, right? So that when people say, "Oh, they've only got $4 million," I'm like, "You sure about that?" Because Pietrangelo's going to go on LTIR, and they might just start the season in LTIR. I don't think they're going to really care about it that much. But the thing is, his contract probably gets eaten up a lot by Rasmus Anderson, right? So what's he going to sign for? Because there's lots of rumors that he's basically agreed to a contract. They just can't wait till the new calendar year, yada, yada, for LTIR purposes and stuff like that. So they're in a little bit of a crunch. And Dorofeev is an RFA. He's making $1.835 million this year. He's got 10 goals already in the playoffs. Then this is a guy who maybe doesn't get talked about a lot, but he can score. He scored 35 and 37 goals the last 2 seasons for Vegas, right? His first full 2 years in the NHL. He had 20 goals in his first, when he was split between 23 and 24, when he was up and down in the minors, right? He still had 20 goals in 65 games. This guy's a goal scorer. And now he's taken it to a new level in the postseason. I'm very curious what he's going to do. And would he be someone that teams would try to offer sheet? I wouldn't sleep on it. Just saying, he's the guy that I would look at, because what are they going to do with Rasmus Anderson? Like obviously, Vegas isn't stupid. They're going to try to get him signed. But if you're Pavel Dorofeev, what could you get? Back-to-back 30-plus goal season, 35-plus goal seasons. Young, 10 goal scorer in the playoffs already. What's he going to finish with? 12, 14, 15? I guess depends how deep they go, but that is a story to watch for. Dorofeev and Robertson. Those are the 2 big RFA contracts coming up in the National Hockey League. It's our stats of the day, brought to you by All-Star Construction. Coming up, Connor Halley. We will have the Blue Jays game after a Connor Halley Sports 1440 update. Tomorrow, Cody Fajardo, Mark Killen. We got a loaded show. Elks' first preseason game tomorrow. It's Positive Friday. A few more fun little tunes for you. And some NHL. Can the Hurricanes go 9-0 to start the playoffs? We'll see. No one's ever started 8-0, so obviously, other than them, they'd be the first one to go 9-0. So we'll see. Here's a con man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Hire Good. For professional property services you can feel good about, get Hire Good. Site cleanup, debris removal, seasonal maintenance, and more. Stable jobs create stable lives. HireGood.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final as the Canadians taking on the Canes. Puck drop in about 10 minutes time in Raleigh. Earlier today, across the pond, Men's World Hockey Championships, Canada surviving a bit of a scare from Norway, winning 6-5 in overtime. They're back in action taking on Slovenia tomorrow in the association. Knicks and Cavs getting going shortly from New York. Knicks lead that series 1-9 in Major League Baseball. The Jays lead the Yankees 1-0 in the top of the third. Dalton Varsho driving in Vlad Jr. Elsewhere, Braves up on the Marlins 5-2. Earlier today, Guardians knocked off the Tigers 3-1. Pirates over the Cards 6-2, and the Mets doubled up the Nationals 2-1. And later tonight, you got the Angels hosting the Athletics, while the Rockies in the desert taking on the Diamondbacks. In the WNBA, the Tempo heading to Minnesota for a meeting with the Lynx. That starts at 6 from the NFL. Matthew Stafford and the Rams agreeing to a 1-year contract extension worth $55 million, keeping him in LA through the 2027 season at least. And it's sad news to pass along as NASCAR driver and 2-time Cup champion Kyle Busch passed away earlier today at the age of 41. That'll do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, if you're listening on the AM feed, it's Blue Jays baseball. If you're streaming, Fox Sports Radio. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.